Welcome in, readers. I am Ook, and it is time for another episode of The Chill Pill. And this is episode 18. I cannot believe that we are up to 18 episodes so far. But I also can't believe that I have got yet another guest that we haven't had on before. This is Resomatic. Welcome in, Rez.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me, Ook. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. We were talking beforehand. I feel like this is kind of your real introduction to the community. I know your work keeps you busy, but I know there's a lot of folks maybe haven't gotten a chance to meet you, see what it is you're all about. So this is a good opportunity for that. But we've been chatting for like 10 minutes. I'm already glad to know you, and it's gonna be a good time. Congratulations on your silver win. That was it was a good tournament. You did really well.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Of course, this was your second silver win, and still looking for that first main bracket win. But I know,
Yeah.
hey, listen, I went 5 months. I think it was 5 months with one crown to my name. So uh, it's it's a tough world
Yeah,
out
it's
there.
I don't mind riding the line right here. It's undefeated in silver and still, haven't picked up that one crown yet in gold, but we'll get there.
Well, I mean, you've only faced what, Adelito, Watchma, and was it Swang? It's
It was Packy. Yeah.
Packy. Oh yeah, it's so much better, so much better.
Yeah, it's
So
kind of like dipping your toe into the deep end with sharks pretty quick. Yeah.
yeah, and that's generally what happens. That's the sad thing about the people who can make the jump from silver into the main bracket is that you end up getting thrown directly into the deep end. So it's a blessing to get there, but it's a curse that you're facing off against who knows who.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the funny thing was, I remember when I was playing Packy, I just told myself, like, just don't get lapped and just try and get a reasonable time. Just try it out, see how it goes. And I think even just seeing those pills flying on his side, just I think I still got probably one of my worst times just because the nerves got to me. But yeah, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, yeah. My first match was against Dimwit in his prime. Like, dude was I think maybe September he had lost finally, but yeah, he was still just destroying people left and right, and I just happened to get in the way of that buzzsaw. It was brutal, but this is the game we
Yes,
play.
yes. You reach for the spotlight, you will get burned every once in a while, right?
Yeah, definitely. So,
Yeah.
tell us about how you got started with this game. Where your Dr. Mario expertise comes from, and then how you found this community.
Yeah. I've been a long time lurker on this community. I think even before COVID, I think was when I first started watching you guys. But I go all the way back to Super Nintendo when it was out, whether it was Dr. Mario and Tetris, on the in the cartridge. And I remember, man, we played it so much that my family had one of those big projection TVs
Mm-hmm.
back in the day, and after about a couple months, it was Dr. Mario was burned into the TV. So as soon as you turned it on, you would just see, like the level and the information and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, I used to play it all the time, but I was an only child. I didn't really have a lot of people that were interested. So I just did a lot of kind of, I remember just playing on level 20 just over and over again, seeing how far I could get. Um, and then a couple years later, when it came out on the Wii, I downloaded it, and that's when I started trying to do a little more verses and just playing people online. And man, like I had a blast playing, but the language coming out of my mouth because I was getting so aggravated, taking it so seriously. Um, but so that's yeah, I kind of like developed a thirst for verses around that time. Um, but then yeah, I guess like a couple of years passed after that, and I think I was just YouTubing Dr. Mario because I was going through this phase of looking for different things online of like tournaments and like video game tournaments and stuff
Mm-hmm.
that interested me, and Dr. Mario came up, and I think it was when you guys were doing, or when they were doing the Tetris tournaments, and the Dr. Mario was just kind of a side event. Um, and I'm pretty sure it was Packy that won that one. But man, just like the moves I was seeing, it made me. I thought I was good playing on the Wii, but it made me, like made me realize that that was the indies, uh, and seeing what everybody does here, like man, that just blew me away, and it was so much fun to watch. And shortly thereafter, I kind of found my way to the Twitch channel, and I think it was 20. It was definitely 2020, if not. Was that when you started 2020, or was it 2019?
Well, the versus goes back quite a ways. I think 2017
Okay.
was the first year of the versus tournaments, the live events and
Mhm.
everything. But as far as monthly events, they started in May of 2020.
Okay, well there you go. So that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Because I remember I had just moved up to Connecticut, and COVID was in full swing like 3 months after I moved up here. So it worked out really well. Where it's like, oh, I can download Dr. Mario and just help pass the time, and in an apartment that you're not allowed to leave. Um,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah, and so I just I started realizing, man, like there's so much more strategy, because I always consider myself a very fast player, just slamming pills, but you know starting to look for just like T's and L's and all this stuff, and like creating the combos. Everything opened up once I started watching this, so it's been a blast to watch. And it took me many years to finally summon up the courage to actually take it for a spin myself.
yeah, getting those first tournaments under your belt, it can be a lot. And I was in the same boat. I remember looking for just anything. I had been watching the Dr. Mario category on Twitch, and when I saw there was a tournament, I was hooked. I mean, that's
Mhm.
exactly what I was looking for. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, being neighborhood good. That's definitely a story we hear from a lot of folks, and it's it's been it's been interesting seeing what that means in different areas because you get players like Pangolin and Perula who played against each other, and then now I don't know if you watched this past weekend when Pezmaster and Sahar went 1-2
Hold
in
on, stop,
SoCal.
stop right there, because I'm on that match right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, so you
And
know
no,
that they made the
I'm-
finals. Okay, that's
yes, yes.
yeah. So so
It's
when I
okay.
say
I'll
they
still
went
watch.
1-2, then you don't have to know who won. Uh,
Well,
yeah,
there you go. Perfect. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It's just seeing these siblings who are able to just they played each other and the high levels are there, versus somebody like me who never really had anybody to play with and
Yes, exactly.
it's
You
obvious
know,
pretty quickly that that's the baseline I started from. Yeah, we've definitely seen folks from all over kind of make their way into this tournament and move their way
hmm
up. So
yeah, it's awesome seeing so many new faces. Because you know we've seen people. I don't want to say come and go, but I know I don't. We don't see people as often as we used to. Some players, and they're just coming out of the woodwork. It's awesome to see.
so you mentioned being a fan of the versus scene. Does that mean we might see you in Cincy?
You'll see me in Hartford and
Oh,
possibly Philadelphia.
nice.
I
Okay.
know that. Yeah, Hartford was the first time I actually came out. I got to meet some folks and play,
All right.
and that was a lot of fun. And it was the first time I played in front of people,
Mm-hmm.
which was very interesting. Because you're you're sitting there playing, and all of a sudden you hear Savage Octagon saying, "Oh, okay, well he's not going for the optimal move there, but okay, we'll see what happens." I'm like, "What optimal move? What are you talking about?" So
Yeah, that's I kind of wish we could get the speakers away from the players so that you guys don't get distracted by what's being said on stream. As a commentator, it's one of the things I hate doing is affecting play. But
right,
that's
right.
at least in an area where you can't get away from. I mean, yeah, you could put on noise canceling headphones, but who wants to play like that? You
Yeah,
lose
exactly,
you
exactly.
lose the atmosphere. You don't get to have as much fun. All right, so you
And that's one of the lessons I learned right off the bat too. Was first I wanted to hear commentary when I'm playing on stream because it's fun just hearing these people I've watched forever talking about me. It's it's cool.
hmm
But then yeah, it's like you definitely do. You can get thrown off, and there's the
hmm
delay. So if you hear somebody like, "Oh, what was that? Oh no!" but then you're already ahead, or they're talking about the other player.
right.
So that's one of the first lessons I learned, and I would say to new players is don't listen to commentary and listen to it afterwards.
Yeah, there was one match in particular. I was not doing great, and JB and Ethan were on the call. That much I remember, and they were discussing the fact that I was on medium speed and saying maybe this was time for me to throw it into high, and so I did, and just got blasted even worse. And I'm like, I shouldn't listen to the commentators. Don't do that.
Yeah, right.
But there are some players
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that's what
exactly.
they do. They will be on comms, and we usually know who they are, but every once in a while we'll say something and they'll just start laughing and go, "Okay, well, they're listening to comms. Okay, at least we know."
Right, right. And it can be helpful too, just telling you where you are in a match if somebody's starting to pull ahead. That's
hmm
definitely helpful because you don't obviously want to devote too much time to looking over to another screen. So it can benefit you, but in certain situations.
I will say that is why I and I did this because we had a Super Nintendo tournament where we weren't actually able to stream it. There were some technical issues that prevented that, so we were just playing against each other and reporting our times and whatnot. And
Hmm.
I found that keeping my opponent's stream on helped me figure out where I am. So it eased the nerves. If you're way behind or way ahead, you get a better chance of it.
Hmm.
But I also could use the audio cues from their game. They clear. You can hear the sound. You glance over, see where their clock is. My clock is usually right next to theirs, so I've got a fair idea of where I am, and it's so
Hmm.
nice.
Yeah, especially like with verses, it's easy. You just kind of look 2 inches to the left and you see, and it's the
Mm-hmm.
same pill bottle, so you can kind of gauge, just looking from afar where you're at. Um, you know, Speed running, you have no clue what their board even looks like,
Right.
especially compared to what you're doing. So, yeah, yeah, having it up is good, but having it accessible and easy, just enough to let you know where you're at, is like the sweet spot.
Mm-hmm. And it's nerves have always been an issue for me. I don't know where you stand on that, but when I have a clue, I don't get as nervous about my play. It's not like, especially late game. You're looking over. I used to do that. I didn't want to waste the time on the stream, so I would be glancing over when I'm getting into nine. Are they done yet? Are they done
Exactly.
yet?
Yeah,
You just
I
waste your
definitely
time.
did that with Adelito. It's like there's no way they're not done right now. I just can't glance over
Yeah, yeah. Adelito is a whole nother type of beast. So it's,
there.
whew, man. So what I'm hearing from you is we need to get you another SNES tournament though. So we'll have to keep that in mind.
I for a long time, up until when I went to Hartford, like I said last year, I had kind of been so down on NES, and I've broken so many USB controllers um, out of frustration that I went back to SNES because, like I said, that's what I grew up on,
hmm
and I just felt like the control was a little bit better. It was more what I was used to. Um, so I kind of went back to that because just I don't know, it was just I felt more comfortable playing that, and but after Hartford, it kind of reignited my flame, So that's when I returned to this relationship with the NES version.
Yeah, I switch back and forth, and I honestly think they help each other because SNES breaks you out of the NES. Well, these pills are coming in, and I need to wait for this one mold, and help
Yes,
you just
yes,
go, hey, I can think about double pills now, and I can make these
yeah,
crazy plays.
yeah. It definitely opens up opportunities. Like double as many fat logs, easier to find teas. And I don't know, like with Nintendo, which we'll probably talk about it when we watch my play here. Is I just get so impatient and I get so cynical thinking, like, well, it's going to be at least 10 pills before I get the pill I need, so let me try this. And Super Nintendo, you don't have that.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're probably right that it is going to be that many pills till you get what you need. It's a fickle game, and you're not the first person to wonder. I'm sure you've wondered why we don't just play it on a better version. It's accessibility.
Well,
It's just so much more accessible on, on the NES. But
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. And
it's definitely a better version. I don't know. I do find when I go from NES to SNES though, the controls feel much more slippery. Do you get that?
yeah, man, I do, because the first couple times I was pressing down, like that sucker was on the bottom of the board before I could blink, and that really threw me off. And um, yes, so it's almost too responsive.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like medium on Super Nintendo is even faster than high on regular NES, to me at least.
Yeah, yeah, I could see that. And with the better RNG, what I end up doing is just throwing it on high and shutting my brain down, letting the instincts start taking over. And it's amazing how once those instincts really kick in, your brain just goes, "Okay, I got this." I think I got a couple of PBs that
Yeah.
way.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm still waiting to find that Zen. Still,
It gets there.
it, mhm.
It's like chess. You just have to see boards and see boards and see boards and see boards until you get to that point where
Yeah, yeah,
you're comfortable with all of these different situations.
yep. And that's actually something that's on my list of things to work on, is seeing the board in its entirety as early as I can.
Hmm.
I I like to think that I'm pretty good at like seeing down the board and stuff like that, but like figuring out what my end game is going to be as early as possible is something I've been trying to work on. So yeah, just that landscape vision
Hmm.
that makes sense, or the grander vision, I guess, of the board. That's it's a good skill to work towards.
Yeah, I'd say you're in a good community of people who can definitely help with end games. That was something I had to focus on a couple of years ago because my end games were just awful and they were losing me matches, and it watching certain players, Swong, Packy in particular, are two
Yeah,
just
yeah,
excellent end game players, and just figuring out what is it they're doing, why, and when Pack does commentary, sometimes he would talk about what the end game strategies were, and it's so eye opening. It's so wonderful seeing people talk about their games and what makes them good. It's why we do the show in the first place.
oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, and the funny thing is, when you originally asked, if I was interested, I'm not going to say that I didn't want to do it, because I definitely did, but I was a little hesitant because you can hear from the Packies and the Swangs and the Savages who, are
Hmm.
really tight with their strategy and their efficiency. And so I thought, I don't know how much clarity and instincts I'm going to be able to offer for what I did, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe people can hear from somebody who's kind of being a little stumbly, finding their way, learning as they go. So maybe that's a good fresh perspective that I can offer.
And you never know when somebody is going to have the brilliant idea that none of the rest of us thought about because we're stuck playing standard Dr. Mario. It's
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
we have standardized this game. Dimwit and I were talking about that in kind of pre talks before the last show. It's that he's been out of the game for a year and a half, 2 years now, and he was saying it feels like the game has moved on without me, and I said, yeah, we've really hit a standard level of play where the commentators, before they were just kind of talking about this and that. Now we're seeing 4 or 5 moves ahead. This is what they're broadcasting. This is what they're telegraphing. This is what
Mm-hmm.
it's clear that they're trying to do. And then when it doesn't go right, we know immediately. Whereas, even 2 years ago, Adelito's play in particular comes to mind. You'd see him just put something down. You go, what is he thinking? And then it would work.
Yep. Oh,
And
another misdrop. Another misdrop.
yep.
Another misdrop. Oh, maybe not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's because it's a good thing in a lot of ways, because we've hit this point where once you kind of learn the way everybody's playing, you can usually, yeah, focus on getting better at doing that. But in another way, it's kind of bad because we're missing some of that fresh perspective. So you never know when a new player is going to come through and have some idea that's going to break our brains. And
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and
that's
it's fun seeing, or just like seeing people grow too. Because I remember like Betty B, she's always been good, right? But
mm-hmm.
something in those last 2 or 3 months, those tournaments, man, that versus mentality and the combo mentality, like I'm watching it and I'm just, it's like fireworks going off, and it's the more you see other people play, the more it gets ingrained to you to look for the same things.
Oh, definitely.
And then it's just on you to make sure that you can be efficient at doing it, and not misdropping. So it's cool because like the better the players get, the better we all get just by watching. So I mean, it's not like a sport where you can push your body so far.
Mm-hmm.
This is something you can put your brain towards and learn. So it's cool.
Yeah, we're a good 6 months into what I have taken to calling the versus phase. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Play has been very much affected by versus since at least the last DRMC in Columbus. It's like everybody, even in speed play, has had a light bulb flicker over their heads, and suddenly these combo plays, we're seeing how much more efficient they can become. More efficient lateral pill movements, like blinking, like dash charging, are becoming more prevalent because those are things that are required in verses. And I think Fightcade has had a lot to do with it. Players are getting a lot more reps in against other high quality players, and they're developing these methods that, yeah, that versus play is really starting to become standardized. And yeah, Betty was on the forefront of that. She's been a versus style player for years. And now that she's really homed in on it, yeah, you're right. She's become a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and I think versus, after you get past the top of the board, you get further in. It's all problem solving, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas speed run is efficiency, but to me, like versus is just you're being rained on. So how do you adjust to a constant changing situation? And with speed running, you don't get that because you can,
Yeah.
but if you got your end game where it needs to be, you don't. There's not a lot of problem solving. But I've noticed, like when I'm practicing and just kind of messing around, if I fumble something, I get aggravated. Well, I just hit reset and I start over.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to do that. Like when you're actually playing on stream and you're locked into your mistakes. So that's why I think end games feel so different when I'm playing live, because I've been forced to contend with everything I've done up until then. Versus if I screw something up in practice, I just hit the bricks and start over.
Yeah. That's that was one of my first plateaus, and one of the first fixes for a plateau was I was playing 0 to 10, and I was, you just reset, you reset, you reset, and you're playing those low levels so
Mm-hmm.
long. And when I started forcing myself to start becoming a 0 to 20 specialist instead of 0 to 10 specialist, it changed my game. You don't reset as much.
Yep.
You strengthen and lengthen your play style, and yeah, it can really make a difference. So I'm there with you.
Yeah.
It affects your speed play. It really does.
Yeah, and those later levels are just so juicy too. There's so many more opportunities for doubles and stuff. So, after those 6 to 9 levels, man, they hurt so bad. As we discuss on stream. That
Hmm.
level 8, oof. But then like, it's strange because those later levels that you think would be more stressful, and they just feel like a relief because you're diving into a nice warm pool, like a deep
Mm,
end of a pool where you could just swim, as opposed to you know stubbing your toes in the shallow end, I guess, if that analogy works. I don't know.
I think it does. Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe it's just you've played so much 14 high from playing verses that the early levels just feel weird now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's especially with silver. I've been trying to go back and just like get the 4 to 7s a lot into my rotation, just for fun. And
Hmm.
yeah, there's something more frustrating about those, just with like the drop time and stuff like that. So um, yeah, yeah. So that's one thing I got to keep practicing more on those later levels. Um, but
I,
there's many things I need to keep practicing on, which we'll learn shortly, I'm sure.
I mean, it does force you playing 6 to 9 or playing 4 to 7 and those early levels. It does force you to focus on things like reducing your drop time, like actively reducing your drop time. So
Hmm.
yeah, I remember when my zeros were like 12 seconds because if I was going to continue, it was on a run where the drop time didn't matter as much. Now I'm getting out at, 17, 18, 19 seconds, but I'm doing it the best I can with the pills that I've got and just
Yeah,
continuing
for
on to
sure.
play. And it's interesting. It's interesting how the dynamic changes depending on what level block you're accustomed to.
Right, right. And one of the few speed runs where the RNG is all at the beginning. Well, obviously there's RNG throughout the entire thing, right? But
Hmm.
those first runs can vary so much, and
Hmm.
so if you get a really bad one, it's nice to get it out of the way first,
Yeah.
as opposed to you know really bad RNG, which determines something at the end of your run.
Right. Right. Yeah, and
Yeah,
we get focused so much on 0, 1, 2 instead of without thinking about the fact that those are such a small percentage of a 0 to 20 run. You get through
right,
0 and 1
right.
in the time that it takes you to get through 10, much less 20. So
Yeah, I think I've had drop time longer than some of my zeros and ones in later levels.
yeah,
So yeah.
it can really come at you there. So, what made your decision back in October to go ahead and make that first qualifier? I know there's a lot of folks who have been kicking the tires. Like you said, you spent years
Yeah.
watching the tournaments. What was it that finally made you go, you know what, I can do this and I'm ready?
Yeah, I think it was just the positive reinforcement from being out there. I remember talking to Savage, talking to Bidwell, um, and just knowing that like I can qualify and I can hang, and was also, like I said, getting reacclimated to the Nintendo version. So I said,
Hmm.
well, I might as well get back into that. Um, I don't know, like, and I've been a lurker in the community so long, so it's you guys are all celebrities to me. Uh, so to actually I just figured like I just got to be a part of this community and see if I can actually give it a go. And just I mean I would practice so much, and I started to realize not to say that I'm wasting my time because I'm having fun with it, but it's, let's put this sort towards something productive. Let's see how far
Hmm.
let's see how much I can measure up.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess like December, right, was the first one. Yeah, that was the first one I did. And it was a lot of fun after 3 gold brackets, getting spanked pretty hard pretty quick. I was a little woozy, but still it's just fun. And it's just such a different dynamic to actually be locked in the live play.
Hmm.
um it's much more obviously invigorating. um but yeah, yeah, I think it was that going out to the regional in Hartford and just having conversations like this and just nerding out about the game and stuff like that. It's cool. Because like I said, like growing up, I didn't have a brother or sister, so I was just kind of playing you know, playing solo, or if my friend came over. So to actually be around so many people and just being able to, uh, go back and forth. And I remember actually one of the very first players that I started watching, and that was after I think one of those first versus tournaments, like I said on YouTube early on, was Leviticus.
Hmm.
And he was kind of one of the players I think he was my first follow on Twitch. Probably legitimately literally my first follow ever on Twitch, because I just that's why I joined Twitch, right?
Right.
To follow this. But yeah, I actually got to sit down and just play with him, and I don't think I got a crown off of him, but it was still like there were 1 or 2 matches where it got down to like maybe 10 viruses at the end. So it was just a cool experience. So I think that's what you know what got me back. Got me back.
you could do a heck of a lot worse of mentors than Leviticus. I will tell you that. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, we roomed together. Well, I mean, we were in the same house in Columbus, and just you want to talk about a Dr. Mario experience, and that is rooming with other players in an Airbnb where there are a couple of systems, and spending all day playing the game at the tournament and then all night playing the game in the house. It's if you're not sick of the game by the end of it, then you're probably as obsessed with it as the rest of us. But yeah, getting
Now, when you guys do those marathons, do you vote on the music, or is it do you just
no,
have to turn it off after a while because it's so long?
I think we all just turn the music off, and because we're all talking,
Yeah,
and you just
that's
toss
true.
just
Yeah.
dump the music and chat, and we might play with music, but I think everybody has got this mindset of the music causing the misplays, which I don't know
Yep.
if yeah,
Yep.
yeah, okay. Which it's if the coding nerds say that's what's happening, that's what's happening. I trust them. There are three or four really
Hmm.
really smart coding nerds in the chat, probably a few more than that in the Discord, who know all there is to know about the assembly language with this, and they're saying that there's something going on. Yeah, I'm trusting that. So a lot of times we're just cutting the music altogether.
Yeah, exactly. I think I misrepresented myself too because I think I left it on Fever on one of the streams, but I am actually Team Mute. Probably Team Fleetwood Mac. I guess was probably be my my music. So yeah.
Yeah, I have yet to find the one music that I want to be listening to. I've floated around for a few things, and now during competition, it's just listen to my opponent. But I've like this last one, I PB'd and I was half asleep and didn't have any music on. It's I don't know how I managed it, but because the brain just wanders whenever there's
Oh
nothing
yeah.
else
Oh yeah.
going on. And do you find that you think of the stupidest things when you're in the middle of like a 14?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's like I start to see the pill bottle as like a cityscape. It's like, and especially and like the yellow pills are like lights and windows. It's very, it gets very strange. Yeah,
Wow.
and it starts to remind me. I don't know if you remember. I'm old, right? But like if anybody remembers the game Rampage,
Mm-hmm.
it was on Nintendo. It's like you're like Godzilla and
Mm-hmm.
King Kong, and you're like tearing down cities. So I start to envision that game when like the columns of pills are dropping, especially in verses, because you get those enormous, garbage stacks that drop. Um,
I
so
never
yeah,
would have
I would
associated
say so.
Rampage with this, but now I know. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I can see it. I can
Yeah,
definitely see it.
yeah,
I
yeah.
played
Especially
through.
on those 1 to 20s, man. They once you start hitting those last 3 minutes in the 0 to 20s, I'm
Hmm.
just like I'm trying to. I wish I had a free hand because I would be smacking myself in the face, just like pay attention, you're losing it.
Yeah, just the weirdest thoughts will come through, and weirdly for me, it's starting to become some of the same ones over and over again. I don't know if it's just brain association, and I've attached the synapses just right so that every time I get to the certain point in my play, the same thoughts show up. But it's getting annoying, honestly. But
I think I think that would be even worse with verses. It's just because you
oh
have so
yeah,
much time to ponder things in verses, right? Because you have garbage just raining down on you. So, and I do notice that the more elaborate combos I'm fortunate enough to get, I tend to look at the results of the combos like, oh man, look at that. Look at that combo I just did. Oh shoot, I got to think
you
about the
gotta
next
keep
piece, you know?
playing. Yeah.
I got to keep playing. Yeah. Next thing you know, it's like, yeah, yeah, you got that great combo, but where's that double blue going, mister?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And and this is why I'm still shocked at the Tetris kids who can sit there and talk to chat while they're playing, while they're
Oh,
rolling. I just I don't understand it. I don't think I ever will.
yeah. God, there was one player, I think it was Influx one time, where he was just kind of like checking in on chat in between in between levels, and it was like in the finals. I
Yeah,
was like, okay, Mister, okay, wow, all right, if you can do that, okay. I don't know
yeah,
how, but yeah.
yeah. I'll start talking in the middle of my play, on my stream when I'm just playing the game and I've got chat going, and I'll glance over and just kind of see what they're talking about. Half the time I miss half the chat, and I'm talking about something they're not talking about. Or
Yeah, they moved on.
I'll get halfway through a sentence and then I'll just freeze because I'm focused on on the screen, because I absolutely will not sacrifice a very good play for for anybody.
Oh, for sure. No, nor should you. Nor should you. Yeah, I do a lot of the started sentence that you don't finish. Even talking to myself when I play,
Yeah.
and even when you're like you're complaining about something, it's like, Doc, would you mind giving me just one more? And then you zone out because like the pill comes and you've forgotten what you were even talking about.
Yeah.
But it's better to do that with talking than it is to do it with plans.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. You don't want to lose your plans that way.
so that's good. Yes, exactly. Which is another thing I'm trying to get better at.
Oh yeah, developing the plans. That's just it's a long term need for all of
I'm
us.
good at Yes, I'm good at developing the plans. It's just sticking to them that is the issue. It's you have a great idea that requires two or three viruses in a row, but then next thing you know, there's a shiny eye. Oh, okay, yeah, double yellow goes there, and then I've forgotten what the whole point of that plan was. Uh,
Yeah.
trying to get better at that. Trying to get better at that.
Yeah, that's where players like Frank and Adelito really excel. Is they throw the plans together and they know, this is the trigger pill for for this plan. And until I get this trigger
Mm-hmm.
pill, it does not drop, and I do not mess with anything on this side of the board. Uh, I,
Yeah, it's
oh,
crazy. Like I watch Flindo play. Man, he's so committed.
mm-hmm.
His plans. It reminds me like those old videos of like Harry Houdini when he's underwater in chains and a straitjacket. He
Yeah.
has only so much time to get out.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel sometimes when I watch him because I know he'll be okay. I know he's gonna get the pill and he's gonna do what he needs to do. But sometimes, man, I don't know how long they can go.
Yeah. That that's you go back and watch old videos, you'll hear me talking about influx that way. It's just, hey, you're committing to this play that is not going to happen, dude. You're going to have to do something. But, eventually the
Yeah,
pill
yeah.
shows and the whole thing drops and everything looks amazing, and that's, if you can't win, if you can't get the crown that you're looking for, at the very least, you're out there making it pretty.
Make it pretty, dazzle them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's a Dave Smith mentality.
that's
Love playing like him.
yep, yep. Yeah, and that's I don't know. Like I tend to have a very impatient style when I play, and I think that's from all the verses I just came up, with. So, and we'll probably see some examples, if we watch my stuff here. But instead of finding the perfect place and thinking way ahead of the viruses that are on the bottom, I would just rather slam some pills on the top and build some color diversity, and then make a combo out of it, and then deal with whatever's at the bottom later.
Mm-hmm.
That's just kind of the way I think, because I don't know if we said this before or after we started the stream, but the cynicism for me, it's you're going to get a lot of pills you're not going to need, so might as well just throw them on top, reduce your drop time, and then move on later.
Right.
Like to me, it all evens out. And I don't know, it's just my impatience from all those years as a versus player, where I tend to be a little more impulsive with my play like that.
Yeah, and that does help with versus play. Playing directly on top, The only thing you run the risk of is having garbage come in and destroying your plans. But a
Of
lot
course,
of
of course.
plays, things like what I tend to do, the crazy tucks and under clears and stuff that it drives pill efficiency, but it isn't necessarily the fastest way to do things. Yeah, it does not
Yes,
always
correct.
translate to verses.
Yeah, exactly. Not a lot of low tucks in verses.
No.
But and I don't know. Like I don't trust my keyboard a lot of the time. I'm a keyboard player,
Mm,
and that sounds very cocky, where it's like, oh, well, my keyboard's not doing what I want it to
no,
do.
it's
I mean,
it's normal.
let's be honest. But yeah, like like I still cannot get the timing down for a lot of like the drop tucks.
Hmm.
And I remember Savage and I were chatting after the first time I played, and that was advice that she was giving me. She was saying, try and be a little more efficient with your speed on the tucks.
Hmm.
And I just I'm not comfortable with my controller doing it. Um, and so
Yeah.
that's why it's just easier for me to press down and make a combo out of garbage I won't need versus like right down left.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely something that takes time. Developing, I call it beef tipping, where you can slam the pill down and then flip it at just the right second so that it slides into exactly where you need it to go. On the
Right.
fly. That took a lot of time to develop. That's
Yep.
very few
And going back
players.
to the Super Nintendo versus Nintendo. Oh, sorry.
I was just
But
say
going
very
back to
few
Super
players do
Nintendo,
it. Go ahead.
Nintendo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Oh yeah. But yeah, it's a different animal on Super Nintendo because your timing is different for that kind of stuff, like the
Hmm.
efficiency for the real finesse kind of plays. And and you'll see it in my play. Like whenever I have to do a careful tuck, like things kind of grind down a little bit. um, but we're learning,
Yeah,
we're improving.
yeah. At the end of the day, we're all just getting better or losing it, one or the other.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, a little bit of a little column A, a little column B.
yeah. So, what's your goal for this year? You've gotten your silver win. You've got, was it three? Uh, three brackets in the main bracket. I just looked and saw, you made the 12 seed once. So you're definitely not just
Yep,
sitting that
yep.
16, 16, 16 every month. What's your goal for this year?
Yeah, I mean, I want to keep on gold. It would be really great to get a higher qualifier just for that reason, just to kind of play middle of the field. Although the field is, you never know what you're going to get in the gold bracket now, which
Mm-hmm.
is what makes it fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I think I think it's confidence, because for me, like if I'm playing Packy or Adelito, I mean, I'm not expecting to get the win, and I'm not trying to sound pessimistic,
No,
but
I get
for
it.
me, for me, it's just like, can I play efficiently under like the stress that's not just practicing? Can I? Yeah, just efficiency. So I'd like to get more gold bracket qualifiers in there and just test. But it's testing my skills against somebody else, but really it's testing your skills against yourself, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's just like building reps, building confidence. I'm a in WWE terms, I want to be an intercontinental champion. I'm not looking for the world championship. Maybe in a few years we'll see. But yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, just I want to get consistent. I want to be a little more comfortable when the streams run.
And okay, you brought it up, so I will jump on that just a little bit because I think that this community has quite the wrestling fan base.
Yes,
I was
yes.
actually a little surprised to find that you didn't come to the community through JB.
Yeah, I'm yeah. It's all kind of new to me, so I think like I'm looking forward to kind of like sinking my teeth into this stuff and getting out there more often.
Yeah, between him and Larva, there's a huge wrestling fan base. Just the two of them count as a
Yeah.
huge wrestling fan base. But
Oh yeah, yeah.
if they
Oh,
don't,
and Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if either of them doesn't already know that that's who you work for, I think that once they find out, you're gonna have them, just trying to hang out and talk and pick your brain about life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I was talking to JB about it because I, I love JB on commentary, and
Hmm.
you could tell. And he's got a wrestling background. He
Yes,
used
he
to do
does.
wrestling commentary. He told me, and it makes so much sense. I can see it. Like I can tell when he shifts his voice into a third gear.
Hmm.
When we're getting towards the end of a match, end of a match. Um, yeah, you could tell. But yeah, so like at the Hartford Regional, it's only an hour and a half from Stanford. I'm in Stanford, Connecticut. Beautiful, expensive Stanford, Connecticut. So, but yeah, that was the funny thing. I was actually uh, we're all familiar with JB Hendry and Joe Hendry, right? I believe in JB Hendry.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I was actually putting together a video package on Joe Hendry's match at the last PLE. So it was just so funny because like I come home from work after getting the video package done, and I see Joe Henry on my screen again. So, but yeah, so it always tickles, man. That's every time there's an L, it's like, oh L, yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
you gotta throw those out there.
I'm sure there's more references to the wrestling fan base that I'm not even familiar with. So it's
Yep.
it's not been something
Yeah.
that I've been embroiled in, but they definitely show up.
I know. I've seen you on commentary where there's a lot of that stuff getting thrown out, and you do what you can. You
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you 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 know you you take the back seat, you let them have their fun, and
Hmm.
and then on to business. It's good.
Yeah, it's commentary has been a blessing. It is definitely it's definitely different though whenever you've got people with frames of reference that you're not familiar with. Of course, I mentioned the
Yeah,
Sword of
yeah.
Damocles one time in commentary, so my background goes a little differently than everybody else's. But
Right, right, right.
that's what makes this whole thing so much fun is because we've got people who are so different and have such varied backgrounds, and we're not all cut from the same cloth.
Yeah, yeah. It's awesome, man. Just like the vernacular and all that stuff that we're coming up with, and constantly coming up with terms for new moves and
Hmm.
new situations. It's fun. It's like going back to the wrestling thing. It just reminds me of somebody watches wrestling for the first time, and if you're a fan, you know what all the moves are called.
Hmm.
And so I just imagine somebody tuning into one of these tournaments for the first time. It's send up for a T drop into a thunder lightning bolt and a fat log, and just I imagine somebody new just blink 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 blink. What the hell are they talking about?
Right.
But you guys do a good job on commentary reminding everybody what exactly is what. So
Yeah, that's why those slides exist that Larva put together,
yes, yes,
because half the time we don't even know. Uh, some of us, and a lot of that comes from those Thursday night games, the monthly checkups where people are just chatting together and hanging out, and then they'll coin these new terms. It doesn't happen as much as it used to, but things like swimming
yeah.
and short stacks and
Hmm.
the L's and T's make sense otherwise. But these are terms that came out of that, and then they made their way into commentary because somebody who was a commentator was in there, and they just kind of get
Yeah,
discussed.
yeah.
The
Yep.
lightning bolts and lightning
And we
rods.
need
That's where that came from.
okay, there you go. There you go. Okay, so I do have a question while we're on
Yes.
terms and things like that. And maybe this is just a reference I don't get, but the crows need to be
Okay,
fed.
I knew it was gonna be
What?
the crows.
So, somehow I missed it. Yeah.
Well, don't feel like you're the only one. I had to explain it to Swang because he was out that one week.
Okay. Okay.
So it was August, September, October, somewhere in there of last year, and Don was the one playing, and he had gotten to a decider, and he was trying to type into chat, the crowd is hungry, or the crowd wants to decide. I think he said the crowd is hungry for decider, but he
Okay,
mistyped
okay, I
it.
see, I see.
He typed in crows, and we jumped on it. Like, we 100% as a
Hmm.
community jumped on it and started saying caw caw, and that just became the thing. We're gonna
Love it.
have to. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'm gonna have to find the exact thing, because this is at least the second time I've had to explain it, and I feel like there will be more. And that way, I can just point to exactly when it
Oh yeah,
happened. Of course, the chat
yeah.
will.
Have Larva put that on one of the slides.
Yeah, the chat's not gonna be there because it's not. It'll be on YouTube instead of on Twitch. But yeah, Larva will have to throw that onto a slide. If you listen to this, Larva, put that on a slide, please, because people are confused. Uh,
So
and
that was
it's
one good misdrop. Then he missed the D, and then
Yeah,
we got
yeah,
something good out of it.
yeah. Turn the D into an S, and next thing we've got something that the whole community just rallied around, and we're having a lot of fun with
Yeah,
it, and it's something that's ours. I think that's something that
yeah, yeah.
we've struggled with early on. Was this developed out of the Tetris community? So much of what we're talking about, so many of the references get made to Tetris. And even the 3-2-1 pills is a play on 3-2-1 Tetris. It's
Hmm.
derivative.
Mm-hmm.
So the
Yeah.
fact that we have this thing that is us and it's just our community, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, like Dr. Mario is. I've always considered it, Tetris's, like flamboyant, outgoing little brother.
Hmm.
So I love that we can be wacky as a community and stick to all this stuff. It's good.
Yeah, it's been fun watching it develop over the last 5 years now. Hard to believe it's been 5 years since
Hmm.
I started playing, but yeah, it's
Yeah, right.
definitely in its own. We're coming into our own in so many ways, and I think I'm really looking forward to this year-end tournament in November in Cincinnati, because I think we're not going to be part of a major event. It's going to be kind of like it was in SoCal, where the bar was theirs.
Ooh, that's
And
awesome. Yeah, I didn't even realize when I tuned in and I saw it was at a brewery. I was like, oh man, that's a prime combination. Although you probably have to hold off on your consumption until you're out or over with your match.
there
Uh,
are at least three players I can name off the top of my head who have a specific blood alcohol content they have to maintain while they're playing.
yeah, that's unfortunately that doesn't work for me with Dr. Mario.
Me
I play
neither.
darts a lot.
Oh yeah.
Stanford's a big darts town, but that is definitely the case somehow with darts, where I've got my sweet spot,
Hmm.
but you just got to manage it because things go south pretty quick if you if you take one step beyond.
Yeah, Don, Floyd, DM Hero, those three I have either seen or talked to them about exactly how much alcohol they need in their system to be able to play their best Dr. Mario. Uh,
Yep.
they've studied this, have their sweet spot. They know what it is. They know where they need to be to play their best, and it's really interesting.
Yeah,
It is almost like a
that's why
bar
you got
game
to get
sometimes.
the yeah, that's why you got to get the schedule down of all the matches.
Hmm.
Especially that last gold bracket, right, where you had like 13 matches one night. You got to get ahead of that so you can plan the consumption accordingly. Yeah.
That was a long stream. I hope we never have one like that again.
Yeah, that was. Whew. It was like, again going back to WWE terms, but like WrestleMania, man. Sometimes that show's like 10 hours long, and it can only be so exciting for so long.
Yeah, and at least that
But it was
one
good, man. That was a really good tournament.
at least with those major live events, you've got 14, 15 people in the truck getting everything running, whereas we've got Dave.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Yeah, one
I remember when
restreamer.
I was at the Hartford. Yeah, watching them set up for the Hartford regional, and finally got everything just where it needed to be, and then they were playing Rock Band right next to where we were,
Hmm.
and I just see Dave. I see Dave kind of like glance over, and expression just kind of like the color drained from his face because now we've got copyrighted music very badly performed chiming in on the screen, which throws it brings up issues.
Yeah.
So I you just never know what kind of weird issues you're going to run into with live production.
Hmm.
Uh, it's just so strange, so strange.
Yeah. And again, that's another reason I'm looking forward to Cincy is we're not going to have all this other stuff going on. It's just us and
Yeah, that's
a room
awesome.
full of
Yeah.
arcade games, and it's exciting. It's exciting thinking about being the main stage in the area where we are.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. See, and then I think what you guys need to do is
Oh,
you
here
need
it
to
comes.
start doing some, yeah, like some gimmicky kind of matches. Like for the people that are out early. It's like bonus points if you can clear the board with only one pill, or only one pill remaining, zero pills remaining. Kind of like a prop bet kind of thing going on. I don't know.
We used to do side tournaments like that all the time. I don't know if you've met Fwubs yet, but she kind of became a legend during a 2021 tournament where you cleared levels 20 and 21.
Mhm.
And I mean, if you top out in 21, you have to go back and finish 20 again. So it was a really
Oh,
yeah, that really made the tournament interesting. And just through some she didn't even mean to sign up for that tournament. So and then ended up in it and ended up in the finals and nearly won the whole thing. And I remember going to her chat and just going, "You just became a legend. I hope you understand that." So yeah, stuff like that. We do those during the live events. Last year
okay.
it was a blindfolded uh, partner match where
Whoa.
we did
I like the sound
verses.
of it.
Yeah, we did verses where one player was blindfolded and the other one was telling them what to do. And in 2023, it was a mind meld where one player was holding the D-pad and the other was holding the A/B buttons.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Dave and
That
I did
sounds
not do well
that
with
that
that.
sounds like beautiful chaos. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, so we do this. We do those live. They don't tend to make it to the stream. The N64 tournament, I don't think made it to stream either. It's just we're spending so much time getting everything set up for the main event. It's
Oh yeah.
everybody you hear. Most of us were up there the day before, the night before, the morning of, getting things set up. Putting in the hours of just making everything happen. We don't have excuse me. We don't have roadies who are tearing everything down and setting everything up for us. It's the talent and the tech are all the same people, and most of the time we're the players too. So it can be a lot, but it is so worth it, and it's been a lot of
I
fun.
bet. And seeing you guys seeing the way things are set up live, like, these are old television monitors,
Hmm.
which are bulky, difficult to carry, and then you've got the Nintendo systems, which you could have a brand new Nintendo system and you still have to deal with it kind of clunking out on you. So you got to be careful with those things. So that's a delicate and tedious endeavor. I got to imagine, especially lugging that stuff. I used to do live production at an old job, and oof, it's and then you got to bring the energy for the actual show,
Hmm.
which isn't too hard because once everybody's there and having a good time, it's not too bad. But then there's like the when everybody's done, the energy drops. You got to pack all that stuff back up again. So that's a long haul, long haul.
Yep, yep. It ends up being worth it. We really do have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of fun.
Yeah, and you can tell. Even when I was at that Hartford regional, that was definitely the cool party group out of everything else that was happening. There was like some Q&As going on that I wasn't really paying attention to, but it looked like people were being required to be there. But
Ah,
everybody just chilling over at the DMC. It was fun.
yeah, yeah. There's definitely the people who like Dr. Mario and go to these events for Dr. Mario. They are there for the Dr. Mario.
Yeah,
You get your Dave Smith
and
players who just that's all he does. There's a room full of other stuff, and you have to drag him to it because he wants to be sitting there playing Dr. Mario with people he never gets to play Dr. Mario with. It's great.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and and we are battle hardened. Because Dr. Mario is a cruel mistress. It
Yes.
doesn't treat us very well. So, and that's why and you can't complain. You can't complain about RNG because you're just preaching to the choir, right?
Hmm.
So everybody knows we all go through the same thing. So it's a strange unspoken bond that Dr. Mario has had his way with us, and we still come back, as often as we do.
Yeah, I'm actually I put together I do cross stitch as it's one of my pandemic pickups was I learned how to
There you
cross
go.
stitch. My mother did it when I was a kid, and I was always just like, wow, how does this work? And so I just decided to learn how to do it. I've got one. I've designed it. I need to make it. It's two yellow pills on one side, or two yellow viruses on one side, a blue virus on the other, and then just red pills dropping down. And it bears the slogan "Blessed be the RNG." I feel like that is this game
Okay.
in a nutshell.
I was playing with one, and somebody was watching, and we would always joke about starting a cover band, even though neither of us play instruments. So don't hold your breath. I always said, like, man, you need to get a band at one of these shows, and they need to be called Favorable RNG. And they play the hits. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, RN Jesus has his followers here, and Flindo, I believe, has
Yeah.
a praise RN Jesus emote on on his stream.
Yep. Yep.
Well, you want to talk about some pills?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's
All
do it.
right.
I have not gone back and watched this,
Oh, me neither.
so this is like reliving. This is like reliving, like a party I got too drunk at. You know, like, well, you won, but what the heck happened to get me there? I don't know. So we're gonna relive this adventure together here.
Yeah, I make it a point not to watch it again before I sit and talk about it because I want to see what what it is that's going through and I want to have my own fresh reactions to it. Like this whole time I've been sitting here hoping that JB's 7 and 8 yellow blue is something that he hasn't finished tucking yet because if it is then he's got a clean end game. If it's not, he's screwed. Uh,
I know.
I
I
mean,
know. I've been
it's
looking at those yellow pills on the bottom of mine. I'm like, oh, I want to get rid of those yellow pills right now.
Yeah, well, you've got a red blue coming through, so you're going to be able to drop that vertically in
That's
eight,
true.
and it's going to be a clean enough end game. You're going to have four full second of drop times about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've already
Just like I
analyzed these
planned it, right?
boards. I've already analyzed both these boards. This is also just your practice run, so it doesn't really matter. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
all right, so let's get into your mindset. It's May, and I think you missed the cutoff for silver by like 8 seconds or something. Yep, 8 seconds. Your
Oh yeah, for qualifying.
your
Yeah, yeah.
your time into 16 was 29:42, and Larva's was 29:34. That's literally the difference
Yeah.
between you being the 16 seed and you being the one seed in silver.
Yeah.
That's
And
got to
she did that
be.
to me the first time I played too.
Oh man, that's got to be just a little bit devastating. But I mean, I speak that from experience because I've been there. Just barely getting squeaked out, and also being the devastator.
Yeah. Yes, yes. I think there was no, but like in December, I think that happened too, where I was just about to get into gold, and then Larva came around like with 3 hours left to qualify and bumped me. But on one hand, yeah, you want to be in the gold bracket, but I was looking forward to some more competitive matches for me, as opposed to stepping right into the number one seed one more time.
Right.
So yes, it's a bummer, but at the same time, it's like, well, I'm probably gonna hopefully get more games in, and so I actually didn't mind. I don't
Yeah.
think I could have played in the gold anyway, because I think I had to travel that weekend, so it worked
Gotcha.
out it was very serendipitous.
Yeah, the couple of times I've been relegated, let's call it, I it it, it hurts a little bit at first because I know I've got better than that in me. I know my
Yeah.
capacity, but then I go, okay, I could probably use some games where I don't feel like I'm having to come from behind. Some games where I'm
Oh yeah,
not having to
exactly.
fight as hard. And it hasn't happened as much lately. My play's improved. I don't know what's happening, what's changing, but yeah, I definitely saw those as just opportunities to get my confidence back, get back on the horse, and get ready to fight back through another one. So it's tough. It's tough
Yeah.
being that
No, totally.
person uh, that's right at the cusp. I call us mid majors. We're the ones who,
Hmm.
we're
Hmm.
definitely gold quality, but not in that top tier. We're not the SEC. We're the MAC, and I still consider
Yeah.
myself to be in that. I may be up to like Big East quality now, but we're
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
barely, just barely. I'm still like getting my butt kicked in the Big East. That's who I am right now. I'm not an SEC player,
Right.
but yeah,
No, I'm right there with you.
oh, I know,
I get it.
and I felt like I was talking to a similar to well, something soul. I don't remember the word I'm looking for. So
I'm with
yeah,
you. I'm with you.
yeah, it definitely it's disappointing, but at the same time, you're like, okay, cool, let's do this. Let's win this thing then. You know, God,
Yeah, exactly. And there's an optimism, and
mm-hmm,
because there's always a chance, right? But when you're going into Adelito, in round one, like for me, it's just like uh, I don't want to embarrass myself.
yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah.
if let the nerves take over. And I remember the time that I played Packy, and I was really not happy because it was like a minute more than my average, if I recall correctly.
Mm,
So I just kind of like, and but it happens. So
yeah,
um,
yeah. You got to get those moral victories in, and yeah, yeah. I'm in the same boat. It's if I played a good game, it doesn't matter if I won or not. If I played a good game, and
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's just like if
yeah,
you PB and the other person still wins, like what are you going to do, man? You gotta hold yourself to your own standards and know you are your own champion every once in a while.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and the reverse is true too. Like if I played in a 4-7 again, I I'm going for a sub 5. If I don't get a sub 5 or at least a
Yeah.
sub 5:15, I'm not happy with myself. Doesn't matter if I won.
Hmm.
I'm not happy with it because I know I can,
Yeah,
and
and
therefore I have to.
yep, yep. And to be honest, that's kind of how I feel about what we're gonna watch. But yeah, because it's funny because, like I said, when you practice, you can restart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if it's not going your way, you just restart. So you kind of get used to the good times, because those are the practice runs you're gonna follow through and see, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get a lot of practice runs if you're like me and reset that are 2 minutes over your average, right? Um, so, and that's one of those things about playing on live stream. You are committed to what you do. So, yeah, so it could be interesting. I guess I was surprised to see the times I got, but yeah, like for that reason, you're committed to what you're working with.
Yeah. Um, so you're facing JB, the 4 seed. He had just come out of a 4-person free for all. It's not a free for all because they don't play each other, but it's
That'd be
still.
fun.
What's that?
I said that would be fun. Can you imagine the garbage dropping in a free for
Oh
all?
gosh. Oh, actually, yes, I can because there is at least one mod version of that. It's crazy, but and
That would be.
the
You
60
definitely have to play that on mute. Definitely on mute.
the 64 has 4 player play. By the way,
Oh,
I
okay.
did
I
not know
skipped that
this.
generations.
So did I. The only time I played it at Cincinnati in 23, and Savage Octagon and I were paired up against Floyd and maybe Watchma, and we ended up winning. And I'm still
Oof.
not sure how. Anyway, neither here nor there. But yeah, 4 player play can
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
a lot of fun. But so JB had just come out of a 4 up, a 4 up match where have you had to play in a 4 up yet?
No,
Okay. Um,
no. I don't. I don't think we've had a full bracket either of the times I was in.
it's interesting because part of you is like, hey, can I beat the other 3 people that I'm facing down here? Regardless of whether I can beat my opponent, can I also beat the winner of the other match? But also
Oh yeah,
it's, hey, I'm not going to be the focus of anybody's attention because there's 3 other games going on. So that's
yeah, yeah.
anyway. So he's just come out of
No,
that.
like
You've
yeah.
you've had a chance to see him play. Are you feeling? Do the nerves play still?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Especially for me because I'm still, I'm still new and getting the reps. So
Right.
it's and like, and I don't remember. I think it was when I played Adelito. Something short circuited in my brain where I typed ready, but then when I moved my fingers back to my keyboard, they weren't on the right buttons.
Oh no.
So I was pressing one button and like my menu was dropping. Like I was thinking I was pressing up and then like the menu was going down. I
Oh
was like,
no.
what the hell is going on? And so like I had to stop for a second and like just recompose my brain.
Hmm.
Um, so yes, the nerves do strange things, and yeah, and I don't think I watched that 4 way. I think I listened because I was just trying to practice.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, and like JB and I tangled before. It was a close match, so yeah, absolutely.
All right. So yeah, I'll go ahead and hit the play button. I've turned the sound off, mostly because you're hearing enough of me. Ooh, he did slide it over. All right, good for JB. Uh, so yeah, you guys are just in practice right now. Betty and I are on the call, and you said you figured out don't listen to that. Uh, yeah,
Right, correct. Yeah.
and I mean, I see you're not using a camera. That is perfectly acceptable, but always makes me wonder what's going on in the brain.
I know, I know. I'm very expressive. I'm one of those people where if I make a bad move, I like, or even a move that I'm not like 100% sure in, I have to make a facial expression just to confirm that I acknowledge, that it
Yeah,
may not be perfect.
yeah.
Um, so it's, and I'm actually going to refresh because I'm not seeing video moving on mine. So that might
Oh, yeah, that might
work
be
here.
coming from me. Hold on, let me stop and restart that streaming for you because I started it
Okay.
before I started or before I restarted my router. That's probably the cause.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, so you should see JB moving around. There's no movement from your side of the screen. You are a statue over there.
Yes. Let's see. Okay. Yes, I see my menu. Yes.
Yeah, you're moving around.
Okay.
All right, so it's 6 to 9. Not my favorite bracket, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm so sick and of those and practicing on them too. It's
Hmm.
I mean I'm at the point where I recognize boards.
Yeah,
I'll see them pop up. Um, and it's just like they're always cranky boards, man.
yeah, definitely. All right, so it looks like an easy pill to figure because you do not have. This is not a great board. I will guarantee you, Betty or I one has already gotten ready to start commenting that this is not our favorite board. Just the
No.
doubles are there, but they're giving you a yellow blue to begin with, so you can't even like make that red horizontal to begin. I don't like it. I don't like it at all for
Yeah,
you. But
yeah, exactly, exactly.
at least there's an obvious play. You're looking at 6-7. I hope that's what you're doing.
Yeah. Hold on one sec, Ook. I do apologize because I'm getting a freeze. So
Okay.
I'm trying to refresh here. Let's see. This is obviously the worst part of the show to have a technical snafu here, but
It's Twitch. Everybody expects it. I've got it frozen. It's
yeah, right.
paused. Okay. No, I mean like I've got the stream paused.
Oh,
Okay. I
okay.
hear
You
you.
still have me?
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
good, good.
I've
I
got
saw
it.
my microphone go off. I was like, oh.
I do have it paused so we can talk about the pills.
Okay. I still see the two reds on the top.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm refreshing. Let's see what we got here. Okay. I'm at I see 1 second and I see a yellow blue in the
Yep.
in the bottle.
That's what you should be seeing.
Okay,
That's what
good.
I'm
All right,
seeing.
let's yeah.
All right. So as I was saying, I feel like 6-7 is the right play here. Yeah, I mean the only other option you've really got is dumping this all the way in the bottom, like tucking it into column 2 or something. That's not
Yep,
appealing.
yep. Yeah, maybe the horizontal on the blues on the bottom, but
Yeah,
up
it's
no, you wouldn't be able to
all right. Let's
and
let's.
and right away it's like where are the blues, you know?
Mm-hmm. So let's see you drop that down. Oh, you get a second one. All right. So a red yellow. You seem like you're going left. Um, walk me through your thought process. What do you see here that on either side of the board that makes you go, "Hey, this is what I want."
I think I thought was I'm not going to get those yellows horizontal unless I get a double yellow
Mm-hmm.
or I build up to it. So I think, but I could still potentially get horizontal on those reds on the top after I clear
Right.
blue yellow, right? So my thought was just don't worry about going for the horizontal on the yellows and just build up
Okay.
with the yellow, and then hopefully obviously I can only get two yellows in there, but if I can get the red horizontal, it'll open it up.
Yeah, you got some really
Probably what I
interesting
was thinking.
options here
Hmm.
because I mean you can tuck it into 7-8 with the red on top on the
Sure.
left. But I'm also seeing you can tuck it underneath those pair of reds and try to fat log on the red yellow. That would be a ridiculous play.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't see that. Um,
I
I do. I get nervous about doing the fat
oh
logs
no,
when.
ridiculous is in. It's probably not the best idea, but it would be so cool
Yeah,
to see.
because I see, and again, like my cynicism, right? Like I
Hmm.
knew I would get like four red yellows in a row if I tried that, and then I've got the yellows underneath it.
Right.
So it's probably wouldn't work.
Yeah. I mean, it's the more straightforward plays tend to be, especially, whatever seems the most obvious to you is probably going to be the best thing to play. But at least you've got another
That's
yellow blue
usually the
coming
way
down.
I'm. Yeah, 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 and that's when I'm doing practice on my own, I get a little more elaborate, but I'm so nervous about misdrops and stuff and just being committed to them when I'm playing. I'm usually going pretty safe, unless I'm really sure of a play that I know I'm going to stick to.
Yeah. But no, I don't disagree with going 2-3 on this one. That is something that will work, especially because then you get your second red yellow. Then you've got the opportunity to put a red on the left and the right hand side, even if that yellow blue didn't come
Exactly.
through. So yeah, it's definitely
Yep.
a good play.
Okay, we're off to a good start.
Yep. All right, but now there's a yellow blue coming down, and now you got a decision to make. Do you
Yeah.
go for the most efficient play, which is going to be down at the bottom of the board, or do you say I don't care, I'm going to take I'm going to use blue as a trash color and put it into 7?
Yes.
Okay,
So
that's
this is that Resnick strategy, Resmatic strategy that May not be the best strategy, but that's what I usually stick to. Is I see so many. It's red all over the top line, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my guess for what I'm about to do is I'm just going to stick it to the right
Mm-hmm.
and allow the blue. Because that way you could have a blue yellow that can drop, and then you can also go red blue on the right. So you've got a little bit of color diversity and options. You got blue red, and then you got blue yellow. So
Right. And I think
that's my
that
guess. Well,
no, that makes a ton of sense. And yeah, it's really a question of what are you comfortable with? What is your style? And that is definitely a good option. There you go. And there comes that red blue that you're looking for. You stack it on top. Okay, you're working on that horizontal. Okay.
mm-hmm.
Okay. I see where you're going. I feel like
Yep.
six,
And
seven.
same thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sure that I'm probably just going to drop that blue on top of the red because that's just. I figure I'm going to get enough blues that I can get rid of it before I have to dig any deeper.
Mm-hmm.
That's usually the way I think. Which is why I'm not even worried probably about those blues at the bottom, just because I figure I've got to get through the reds first.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather stack something on top of the reds quick and easy than trying to fit it down there um, at the bottom.
And if column one wasn't completely wide open, I would feel the same way. But you definitely want to use the red. You want to prioritize the use of red here, and I agree with that
Oh yeah,
wholeheartedly.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping you're going to go 6-7 with the next one though, just because then you're getting rid of that garbage and kind of working your way down. But I won't be surprised
That
if you
sounds
put
like a
it.
great idea.
I won't be surprised if you put it into 5 though, and complete the horizontal, and then you face down with some garbage.
Yeah, let's see where this leads.
Oh, it was a red yellow coming up. I didn't even see the red yellow come up in the
Oh,
next
me neither.
box. I well,
Okay, well,
it's like it just came out of nowhere. All right, so yeah, you do make that play.
okay.
Do I hate it? No, I don't hate it. That's for sure. So red, blue down, and then you've
Yeah,
got
like I don't know, like maybe I'm thinking somehow I can get that red horizontal or something to have a yellow drop down.
right, right,
I don't
right.
know. I'm gonna be saying I don't know probably a lot here if we're
It's
playing the
okay.
drinking game at home. So
I will tell you with this clear that's about to happen and a red blue coming down, you've got the option to tuck it into 1-2, get the red knocked out of the
mm-hmm,
way,
mm-hmm.
drop down to the blues, and then you've used all your blue. You've committed to the 6-7 play with the red blue though, so I feel like prioritizing that makes more sense, but I like both
Yeah, it makes
options
sense to
there.
me. Knowing me, it would probably be the right. I don't think I would go for the drop.
Yeah, yeah. I think at this point in your play, that makes the most sense. Later on, it might make more sense to go with that left hand play and kind of clear your garbage out and make room for yellow blue. But for right now, yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
agree. And you go left. Okay, so
I told you
it's
this is like having a wild night out on the town and not remembering half of it. So yeah,
but that's half the fun. Okay, so
yep,
you're
yep.
you're committing to the yellow red. I like that play. The double yellow. It's so tempting to go 1-2. It's so tempting. I think it's the wrong play, but it's so tempting.
Yeah,
I think
yeah. I think
completing.
I sorry. Yeah, I'm probably salty about not getting that yellow horizontal like I wanted to originally. So it's
Mhm.
probably going column four. Yeah.
Yeah, I think dropping it into 5 and clearing what you're committing to right now just makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could drop it vertically into 4 and then hope that you get another double yellow and make a whole. It's not technically a short stack, but it's what they call a short stack now. The double vertical, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. We'll see what you
And
do
you could
with it.
also you could also land the blue yellow horizontal on that too if you do that route.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I see you going 5. Oh, okay. There was another yellow red coming through, and that worked out for you. Oh, and I like this horizontal play you're about to drop down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You would assume
That,
so.
yeah, well, I can't imagine it's going anywhere else. That is a sort of play I wouldn't have caught. I probably would have done 3-4 myself. And
Mhm.
yeah, either I don't think that's a better play. I don't think it's a better play. It's just where my brain goes. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think through all of the requirements, what dropping it in 3-4 would require versus what this is going to require. It's interesting because partially because you're running out of reds.
Yeah, yeah. We were overrun with reds, and now we're starting to lose them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Staring at the screen right now, I'm hoping I tuck it over there and call them 1, 2, 3, 4, 6,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get rid
Put
of that yellow in between. Because
that sure looks.
it takes one yellow off the board and it leaves us still a lot of yellows and still a lot of blues. So
Yeah, that sure looks like the play that you're committing to. Like going right here looks like vertical and 6 is the play. So let's see. Yep, there it goes. And now you're okay. Okay, I like this. I like this. Right play there. Yeah, and this at this point everything's just going your way.
yeah, now things are picking up. Once we crack through that red crust, I think we
Mm-hmm.
were in a better position.
Okay, it looked like you were going for the
Whoops.
underclear twice.
Yeah. See, I told you those tucks, man. It's
Well,
that was a tuck. That was a tuck gone wrong right there. For the I was going for the red, obviously.
right, but it doesn't really matter because now you've built up. Swan calls it a parking garage. It's not quite what he's talking about, but it's pretty similar. You've got it to where as long as you don't slap them over incorrectly, especially on medium speed, it's going to work
Mm-hmm.
perfectly. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's a good place for it. And there's a lot to say about getting a double together. All right, top. There you go. I agree with this. Yeah. Yeah, this is that was the right prioritization, leaving that blue
Yeah, I think
in. Yeah,
yeah, once I saw the red blue coming, I think this one made
and
that choice.
115 out of 6, that is a great time.
Yeah, that's pretty good for me. Pretty good for
It's
me.
that's pretty good for anybody. We no, I'm serious. The par you'll hear us talking about par is a minute and a half. That
Mm-hmm.
that puts you on an average to get out at around 6 minutes. That's what we're all aiming for, even the ones who say they're not. Uh, that's
Right.
we're all thinking of it that way. So yeah, if you're getting out at a 115, you're in a good place. Oh, there's so many tuck options.
It's,
I mean,
yeah,
for
I think I'm just freaking out about yellow right now. Is probably what's going on in my head.
mm-hmm. 4-5 is the cleanest one, but
Yeah,
I
that's
could
what's calling out to me right now too.
I could see going 5-6. Overhang the red on the right hand side so that you're starting to build the horizontal.
Yeah, yep. I mean, get rid of the yellows. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
and then this is not the right play, but knowing me, I might not even be thinking that low on the board. And I say I've got 3 yellows on the left there. And I'm going to need to break them up at some point,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to be patient enough to wait for double yellows. So I would not surprise me if Resumatic from last week decides to put the red yellow on the left.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, 2-3 is not the worst option because
Yeah.
you can then knock down column 4 and you've got the option for horizontals on the
Yep.
yellows in 1-2 and you've got a red on top.
Yep.
I don't hate
Mm-hmm.
that play at all. My play style tends to focus on immediate best place for this individual pill, and
Yep.
that bites me in the butt too. By the way,
Yeah.
weird.
It's
Go ahead.
oh no no. If I didn't have such tuck apprehension with me, it's I don't know. It's for some reason I just feel so much more comfortable just dealing with stuff in the immediacy.
Sure.
Um, but it's one thing I am trying to get better at. I think I do it. There's a couple times in this playthrough, if I recall, where I dive straight to the bottom to try and clear some stuff. But we'll see.
I will tell you one other play that speaks to me is 3-4 down at the bottom on top of that red and underneath
Bottom.
the pair of yellows.
Oh yeah,
Because
build up to those yellows. Yeah.
when I see one red yellow, I expect to see 12 red yellows.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a pill that shows up in spades. And I feel like if I can get three of them, it's not the most efficient way to clear a double, but you know, I like those in between plays. So I,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
it's a world of possibilities, and none of them are great.
Yeah.
Let's see what you do.
Yeah.
Oh, you are going to go for a tuck into 4-5, and there's a blue yellow in the chamber. Okay, yeah, that's the right play.
Yeah.
And I'm going to
See
assume you.
now, I'm already in. Oh, sorry. I'm annoyed with the 4 or 5 just because well, maybe the Reds can still get a horizontal.
Yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, you need to commit to it at this point. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's 4-5 is the first thing I saw, and that means it's probably what I would have played. I'll be frank with you. The only other, I mean, I guess you could. No, there's just all the options on the table. That one was fine, and there's nothing wrong with it. So, especially if you commit to it here.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah. All right. Let's see the commitment here. There it goes. There's 2. There's 3. So, yep, you commit to it.
Yeah. Just like you said. Look at all those red yellows.
Mm-hmm. And okay, let me tell you that
Yeah.
play. That's the right play. That 5-6. You're setting up for the horizontal, and I love it. I do.
Okay. Yeah.
I was hoping that's what you were gonna do. Let me just say it that way.
Yeah.
Now the red
And that's the
yellow.
benefit of playing the board because now I'm actually kind of focused. You're seeing more possibilities at the bottom.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
your attention's been put there. So
So with the red yellow, I do still like that 3-4 play, especially with as many red yellows as you've seen. But it's a weird play, and it's a harder one to see. Uh,
yeah.
and you know,
Yeah,
I
that red yellow.
I don't disagree
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I don't disagree with committing to a 6-7 play. You're going to get plenty of them, and then you can lay the red, yellow 7-8, and then you got a red exposed. It's not a bad play at all.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that I've got it over the blue, like one of the few blues I have on my top line.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Another neat option for it is you go red yellow on top of that red blue at the bottom, and then once you
Mm-hmm.
clear the yellow, or once you clear the red, you've got the option to put a yellow blue that will clear both doubles with a drop play.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
It's a neat play. I don't know that it's the right play, but it's a neat one. It would be fun. It would make Betty go, "Ooh, I like that." And
Yeah.
since she's one of the ones commentating
It's a.
on this,
I do remember one time she was like complimenting me on setting up a tee and having really good foresight, and then I end up not taking the tee,
yeah,
and it was so funny. She's like, "Oh wow, this is a brilliant move." Oh, okay, well he didn't go for it, but okay, that's cool. I remember
yeah,
that. I remember that. I was like, "Whoops." So
we do that. It's unfortunate. Part of it is because so many of us like teaching this game, and silver feels so
yeah,
much
yeah.
like a time to just start teaching. Uh,
Oh yeah, yeah,
all right,
yeah.
so I think you're going to commit the red yellow and the blue yellow on the top lines where they are.
I
Okay,
think so too.
that's a that's good. I wish you would like use the yellow blue, use the yellow. Okay, there you go. All right, and then you clear your garbage. All right, and that
Now we're out of
hesitation.
yellows.
What's that?
And now we're out of yellows on the top.
Yep. So that hesitation moment, that's the pill. That's I think the moment to put the red yellow on top of 5-6 down at the bottom of the board.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't see that. I don't see that in real time. I don't think.
Yep,
I
I completely agree with you. Yep.
I barely see 3-4 in real time, and that one's staring me in the face right now. But
Before. Mm.
yeah, we're
Yep.
definitely
Yep. Yep.
okay. I mean, you got to go 1-2 with this red blue, surely.
I would think so. Yep.
The only other option is taking it vertically in 8, clearing the blue and having the red opened up, but you don't need that. So yeah, there it
Yeah.
goes into 3. That's right. Getting that out of the way, and then it gives you another red yellow, and you're just so ticked off by that. But you see it. Yes, that is the play. That is the play, and you get the tuck play, and then the under clear. All right, dude, this is. See, you thought I wasn't gonna find anything cool. This is good play. All right, I like this play. This is a good setup. Now you've opened things up. Don't be afraid of the yellow. Absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
That's a tendency it didn't bite you, but that's a tendency I have, is to accidentally put stuff into 8 that I really shouldn't. Uh, those
Yeah.
yellows over an 8, that's a bad habit of mine too. But like I
I
said,
tend to have issues with column one. I like the left button and my whatever. When I press that left button, I get very antsy, and sometimes I always over scoot it. Usually over in column one, so I get nervous with column one sometimes.
well, this over here is what I'm talking about. My tendency
Oh yeah, yeah.
ends up being to put the garbage into 1 instead of 2, or the garbage into 8 instead of 7. Doing what you did right here, that's the right play to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this from other players. I'll be sitting here commentating with them on, oh, see, that's the right play to make, and I make that mistake, and it's something I'm fixing in my game right now. So yeah, you've got
Hmm.
this. And yeah, the yellow red setup in 2-3 is tricky. Betty's commentating on it, and I agree with her that finding that yellow red was a tough play to find. So you're getting kudos on that one.
Oh, good. Yeah.
There's a double yellow coming. You're going to use that to knock down 2, and everything's going to be in a good place. And
Yep.
then
I got
this
to
is going
imagine.
into the blue. Yeah, I can see your hesitation to tuck now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. There it goes. You get the double on top, down. Yeah.
All right. Well, you go.
This is a
That's
clean end
working. That's
game.
working.
I don't know why you
Yeah.
think your end games aren't great. This is really clean end game work.
Well, we're looking at one here. We'll see. Yeah, that one worked out. Like everything got easier as we went along down that board. So that's good.
Yeah.
And that's funny. I was talking about ignoring those blues, and those blues are the very last things that I got. One of the blues.
Right. 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 All right. By this point, JB had forfeited. I don't think you had known that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think I was listening to commentary, so I heard it afterwards, but I was trying not to look. Like I was worried something happened to him. I like
No,
so.
it's I've seen this happen a couple of times. I know Leviticus has done it in the past. It was basically he didn't like where he was going, and he knew that he was just going to get more and more frustrated. He needed to not tilt and just kind of reset
Mhm.
himself, and not force himself to be playing in a way that he didn't like. So it's
It's good
unfortunate.
to recenter. Yeah.
Yeah. And none of us knew the rules off the top of our head. It did state that as long as you've made forward progress, you could have stopped. We didn't know that, so we were encouraging you to continue.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I remember because you guys went radio silent for a little bit because you were confirming the rules. So I was just kind of like, well, no, well,
Just keep
everybody's
playing.
watching me
Yeah.
play. I'll just keep on going here. Yeah, just, yeah.
Yeah, Dave will do that sometimes. He'll just knock us out, and then bring us back in after. And it was like, oh yeah, okay. Sometimes we don't even know. We'll be in the middle of commentary, and he'll be like, I've muted you." Like, oh, okay, thanks, Dave. I mean, he can't just tell us that.
Thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, he can't really just give
Right.
us a heads up. All right. Looking at the pills in front of you, I mean, the obvious play to me is the 3-4. Just, Use
Yeah,
red as a
that's what I'm
garbage.
thinking.
But
Yep.
vertical on 3, wait for a yellow blue.
Yes, that seems clear to me at the moment. I don't know if it seems clear to me back then, but
Yeah, especially because then you can put this red blue in 3-4.
and then see like and then my other thought would be like over on 7-8 dropping the red yellow, and then I could get a horizontal on the blues and drop it down.
Mm.
But then if you look even further down, then you're going vertical on the horizontal reds in row 5, 4, 5.
I don't
So
rows I can't do. Columns I'll do columns all day long. Rows are not. Yeah.
I've never had to actually reference a row by its number, so
Nope.
I'm
We
that's the
just
first time I've ever done that. So
don't
it's
do it.
tough.
We talk about the bottom in the midboard. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, no, nothing bad to say about Dave. By the way, he he knocks it out of the park, and it's a tough
Yeah,
job.
man.
Oh, I don't know why he does it.
Agreed.
Not just how. I don't know why he does it. All right, let's see. Yeah, see that was the obvious play to me, and now
Yeah.
it's about to pay
And I
off.
think too, yeah, yeah, I got lucky there. But and I think again, like color diversity, I have an option for red yellow, and then I have an option for red blue if those pills come.
Yeah.
After that. So
Yeah, and using the vertical that I was discussing, really there's I mean, I guess you could put the third red into 2-3, but you're running out of places to make it work. And what you're doing ends up becoming a more pill efficient method. Are you going to make the horizontal? That's the other question.
I hope so, man. I'm shouting to myself to do it right now. So the
Uh,
only thing I can see myself is maybe the blue on the left, just to get rid of a blue, and open up a red. Like is, is it worth it to get a red open and to have that another yellow red option
I mean,
instead of doing the blue horizontal? I feel like pros and cons for both.
you've got a blue yellow coming down anyway, so I don't think that's it.
Oh yeah, look at that. Well, there you go.
I would say tucking it into 3-4 instead. That gives you a triple
Hmm.
instead of a double because you're already poised to drop.
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go.
And if you can get another double blue, you lay it on top of that single blue, and then you got a huge cross.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Yep. Yep, I
that's
see it.
that's one of those things that I've had to learn so hard lately. I remember cross clears
Yeah,
being
it's
something I never saw, and now it's harder, but it's getting there.
that is my that's my current thing now is looking for cross clears, um,
It's
especially like
necessary.
when you have blue, like one color, like just like scattered around like that. I tend to freak out when I have one color and it's checkerboarded like that, uh, and there are many better options than just freaking out. So
Yeah.
he's probably a better option. Yeah.
Yeah, I will say the real benefit of getting that blue and 5 knocked out as well is you're gonna have the doubles in 4 that you can pair. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
that just opens up so much. I hope you find it. I hope you get it. Let's see. Yeah, you're just gonna take the straight double, and that's a good play. Here's the vertical. You're gonna clear this out. That's gonna work. You get the horizontal. That's a heads up play right there. And then you start clearing out the left hand side. I 100% agree with that.
Oof. Yeah, look at that slant. Look at that hill.
Yeah, it's a good Tetris board. You know, they like having it vertical over on that side. All right, and I will say those red blues. You had the option to tuck into 2-3, get the reds paired up into 3, and go ahead and start. But you only had use for 2 of them, whereas I think you were able to use 3 on the right hand side.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
And
That sounds right.
and with this yellow blue coming down, I mean everything's coming down perfectly. You're now garbage free, and you got red blues coming down in spades. So
Yep.
that's great. There's the tuck. There you go. So now you're gonna get it anyway, just later than I had suggested. See, don't listen to me. And I'll give you more kudos on clearing out the left hand side of your board rather than that yellow blue on the right, because the yellow blue on the right doesn't provide you with anything. And that's something
Right,
else
right, right.
I've been working on in my own game, is clearing out viruses that provide you with working the board down. So kudos
Yeah,
on that one.
exactly. Yeah, good. Reading the path. Yep.
Yep. All right. Let's see if you go to one. You do go to one. Okay. 6-7 was the other option,
Yeah, I'm
but
surprised I didn't do 6-7.
eh, now 7-8's the right play, and yeah, you're just gonna have to make your own. Oh, a double blue. Isn't that nice? Yeah, I like it. That's right. Get it out of the way. There you go. You see the right play?
Let's see here. So, well, I would tuck it under the yellow probably,
Yeah,
so I could build up on the yellow. Yeah.
yeah. I would say putting it into 5-6 with the blue on the left, so
Oh, actually, yep. Yeah, and then have it
it
drop
drops
the blue
into the
down for the
horizontal.
horizontal. Yep, yep, yep.
Now that may not be the right play. That's the play that I am most tempted by. Let me put it that way. If a red blue was sitting in there,
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
wrong play. And if you think a red blue
That's
might
right.
show it, oof.
Right. Oh, yeah. No, I'll buy that. I'm down with that.
Yeah. I shouldn't say right. I should say standard, because again, it's what's becoming standard Dr. Mario, but it's not everybody's play style, and we're okay. Yes, left and a Lotus Clear. That's great.
Uh-huh.
I don't know
Oh,
if you're.
Lotus clear. Okay, that's
That's an influx term for it. Waterfall was another term that
yeah.
was passed around, but I think Lotus Clear is
Ah,
the one with the most staying power.
absolutely. Okay.
And 5:30, it's respectable time, especially in the silver bracket. 4-5. I don't see a
Yeah.
better. I don't
Four
see a
five
better
might.
move than that.
Yeah, yeah.
Bing bang boom. Yes, that delay play every time, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's an offset fat log. Do you see it? Did you see it in time? Oh, I hope you saw it. I didn't see it until just now.
Oh man, I'm so. Oh man.
Oh
Well,
no.
place your best.
Because it's vertical in 6. It's right there, and I didn't see it until I said something. I was like, oh no. Oh, does he get it? Does he get it? Oh. Okay. No,
Yes.
but it's an L clear anyway. You get an L clear out of
Hey,
it
look, yeah, look at
anyway.
that. Look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Boom.
But I mean, that's the moment I saw it, and that's the right
Yeah,
play.
it's like I said when I see a whole bunch of pills that are the same color, sometimes I it's like my brain just won't connect them all together. So
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
and you had it set up perfectly too. That's the thing that.
yep. I know.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, at this point, you've got a really good board for non doubled pills, and those are just good
Yeah,
boards.
yeah,
Okay. Oh, good adjustment. Good adjustment.
yeah, 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 yeah. Freaked myself out there for a second.
Yeah. And yeah, I think this is the right play to make. Just get it down the board.
Yeah.
You hate losing those yellows, but here they come as a doubles, so it the option was there.
Yep.
I like it. Oh, good adjustment.
What's
Real good
what-
adjustment
what's
there.
what's what would be the term for bailing on a tea? Like a
Eh.
Boston Tea Party kind of thing?
Maybe.
You're tossing the tea? I don't know.
Uh, okay. And I love the overhanging blue for you,
Yep,
because
yep.
I mean it's actually one more than you need, but you definitely have now the horizontal, and it reduces your drop time. That's that's as well as you can play that end
Yep.
game. That worked out really well for you.
Yeah, I wish I would have put the yellow on the bottom to reduce drop time, but they're nitpicking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's something that will come, especially if you're committing to work on your tuck game, it'll get there.
Hmm.
If you're not committing to working on your tuck game, then I don't blame you. Uh, all right, into game two. You thinking 2-3? Or you thinking 7-8?
2-3.
Agreed. Tackle the top of the board.
Yeah, less drop time, and I don't like those reds butted up to one another. So knock out one of the red yellows, and then hopefully you're going to get drop time with the red yellow to follow it up on the
Mm-hmm.
left on column one. But yeah,
Yeah. There's also a really, really weird and kind of dumb idea of tucking even lower on 7-8 and uh, committing to the horizontal reds in the middle of the board. See, I find really dumb
yeah,
plays when we do this, but every once in a while you find the one that you're just like, oh, that actually would have been the right play. Who knew? But this ain't that time. I'll tell you right now. All right, 2-3. Yeah, I think. Oh, triple. Yeah. Now's the time to go for. Okay. There's.
ah,
No, this is not bad. This is not bad. I like it.
no, no,
There you go. Finish your commitment play. Pair the blues. Do the horizontal. Now you're getting the corners out of the way.
yeah, I got a red field goal post right there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to clear the blues and then build up to the red there for a second. There, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure where you were going with it, but once it showed up, I was like, I respect it. I respect what I'm seeing here. And now it does look like you may be thinking about the blues, but the pills aren't coming for it, and you were
Yeah,
right to abandon when you
yeah.
did. But now you're thinking about a yellow blue. You're thinking that there may be more yellow blues,
Yep.
and it looks like, oh, you're right. Love it when the lottery
Ooh.
pays off a 108. That is smoking hot time. And
Yes. Okay.
that is a screen I've never seen before.
I was going to say I broke it. I broke it. I swung it.
No, this is
Maybe
interesting
not. Maybe
frames.
not quite the same thing.
Huh. I have I don't know that I've ever finished a level in an emulator and pause moved it frame up. I've done the beginning of a level. I haven't done it at the end of a level. I
Wow.
that's so cool. Okay. I feel like it's
Yeah,
cycling
screen grab that.
tiles.
Yeah, yeah. I can't even tell like what it's supposed to be.
I was just wondering that. I'm like, what is that
Like,
on
what's it
top?
pulling from? Is it pulling from like the main menu or?
Maybe I think the Boba Fett looking helmet thing is part of Mario from the title screen, and that
Dang.
may be part of what we're looking at the top. I don't know. I don't know the tile set, so
A
it's
copyright sign in there? Jeez. Yeah. So it must. Yeah. Interesting.
it's such a weird thing. Okay. Oh, and look at your level and speed as well. There's a heart in there,
Yeah. Oh,
but it's a yellow heart, and I'm fairly
yeah. And
certain
it's
that it's a red heart on the menu screen.
oh, see. Oh, okay. See, I saw an arrowhead. Oh, that is a heart. I'm looking at I'm very far away from my screen at the
Oh,
moment. So,
gotcha.
and it's an OG level. But what we're really happy with is the 108. That's the thing that I'm looking
Oh, yeah, yeah. The 108's great.
at. That's my
That
favorite part of it.
Yeah, yeah. It should be. It very much should be. I M A. That's not an R though. I could almost see Mario at the top. Okay, we're spending way more time on this than we probably should. It's just crazy.
And if it happens again, we can code that one and see if there's a message.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
Or I've been playing too much blueprints lately. Looking for stuff that's not there.
Hmm. If a yellow blue comes up after this, then I think the right play is committing to the fat log. But I don't think that's the right play most of the time. Oh, I kind of wish for it
Oh
though.
yeah, yeah,
Well, let's see what the next pill is.
yeah. My guess is that I'm going. Oh yeah, let's see what the pill is first. But
It's another red yellow, straight down.
my my guess is I'm going for the horizontal, and then I've got yellow. I've got the yellow garbage on top of the yellows. That's my guess of what I'm going to do.
Wait, where are you gonna put this? With the horizontal on the reds?
Uh, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
then
So
like I've
it's
got if it's two red yellows, then the two garbage yellows drop on top of the other
the
yellows.
existing yellows. Yeah, then they're not garbage anymore. Okay, I can get
Yep.
behind that. I thought maybe we're looking at a just straight slam down like an actual short stack, just
Oh
boom,
yeah,
boom,
yeah.
boom.
I could definitely see that too. I'm trying to get in my mindset of what I would probably think. So this is very exciting. Like, it's like I'm reading my mind, but then I'm also I'm watching a different version of myself. Very
Yep,
very interesting.
yep, yep. Oh, you think this is a different version of yourself? I was talking to Dimwit about his 2020 finals. You want to talk about a different version of yourself? All right, so 4-5 and followed by 6-7. I would think. Although your options for the yellow blue are just so many.
Yeah, there's a lot, right? Gosh,
I don't know which one I
uh,
like the best. I think maybe 6-7 is the one I like the best.
I thought, yeah, yeah. I think I'm with you.
Well, let's see. Let's see what you do.
That's calling out to me. Like my eyes getting drawn to the double blue. So
Yeah.
uh,
Okay.
to
The
clear that up fast. So
the play was 2-3. That is perfectly reasonable. I like that as an
oh,
option.
mm-hmm.
Of course, the third one standard now is to tuck under to reduce your drop time by a quarter
Mm.
second, but that's only if it's a quarter second faster, and I don't know that that's the right play anymore. But now I'm overthinking my own play and everybody else's too, which is probably not the place to be.
That's what we do.
Yep.
That's what we do.
I'm hoping you stack this double red vertically in 4.
I would assume so.
Hey, a double yellow. Ooh, a horizontal. And then committing to 7-8. Yep. And now you're getting all these yellows. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I see you. I see you. Oh,
Underneath
that's a
there.
good play. And there's literally in
Whoops.
2 games is the first misdrop you've made. So kudos to that.
Man, that hurts. Well, thank you. But that one stings so bad because it's a blue and it's on top of the only bleeping.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I want to go back and look at that double again though. See, you're making it better. Rez, did I lose you? Rez? Okay, we've lost Rez for just a second. Let's see if he will make his way back. Okay, he's saying that he is here, so let me mute and unmute and deafen and undeafen. Check 1, check 2. We've got some mic issues with Rez. Give him just a minute to try to get back. I'll go ahead and put a plug in right here because if you're watching this, you're probably, well, if you're not watching it live on Twitch, then you are probably watching it on the YouTube video. And be sure you can check out all of these as they're happening over on my Twitch channel. The link is in the description, as well as you can catch the best of Chill Pill over on Spotify. I put them out irregularly, but they are slowly making their way through. This is episode 18 of the live stuff, and I think I have done 6 episodes on the chill pill as of June 4th. So these will all end up there. And speaking of where things end up, Rez has ended up back because I just heard a on his mic. Yes? Haha, yeah, I thought
Yep, you
so.
got me. Hello, hello. Yeah.
Yeah, all
Okay.
right. So
I've moved my webcam here, so hopefully I'll do my best to keep the quality up,
yeah,
both in audio and in commentary.
sounds good. Sounds very good. Oh, and I accidentally just swapped to another. Okay, there we go. I made a little mistake myself in turning you down just a touch. All right. So I was saying just before you cut off about this horizontal blue. So here's where our setup is. You'll see. Okay, there's the mist drop. We know the mist drop. But what you
Okay,
do
let's
to
look at that again.
follow it is brilliant. You get your setup, and then boom, get the horizontal, and it just, I wasn't even looking for that because I was so focused on the mist drop, and it all came through cleanly.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
I'm surprised it didn't horizontal that blue garbage.
I see it, but at the same time, you're on such a good roll here. I think not focusing on your garbage and just focusing on getting the viruses out of the way makes good sense, especially with this underclear here. Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was wondering.
Well, it does kind of kill that blue horizontal at the bottom a little bit, but
Yeah,
you
maybe
don't
I
need
just
it.
had issues thinking about that. I would have to build up to that yellow in 8, I don't know.
Strangely enough, you ended up with a red at the end instead of blues, so the blues were just coming. And
Yeah. How about that, huh? With all those blues and like the red's the last one. How about that?
and honestly, fighting pigheadedly for the double or for the horizontal, it wouldn't have been worth your time. So it worked out really well for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 2-3 versus 5-6.
Yeah.
Oh.
5-6 opens up that chasm underneath a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
which opens up more yellow blue possibilities. Although you're not going to get an actual clear until you still get through those reds.
Yeah, that's a
And it
tough one.
opens up those horizontal reds too. Yeah. Because if you do the yellow blue on the left, then it's nothing but red.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I like a tuck into 5-6 if you're going to commit to that, but that's just
Yeah.
me. Let's see what the play is. To the left.
Yep.
And vertical. Yep. Straight into the chasm. I agree with that because it reduces your drop time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks like you're thinking about that horizontal on the yellows down at the bottom.
Yeah. Or it might just be one of those, like I said, like there's reds everywhere. So let me just, I'm gonna have to sacrifice a color just to start making some of those matches up on the top of the red. So
Yeah.
that's probably my thought. I screwed
Oh,
myself. Oh no, I didn't. I
no,
didn't.
you didn't.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was good.
I remember being annoyed with that play because I thought that was gonna block myself off somehow, but it worked.
Yeah, I will. Let me back up to. That was brilliant. That was great. All right, good play, good play. Now this is the pill I disagree with. Just because there's a double yellow coming through. Just because you've got a double yellow coming through, you've got the option for the horizontal. And let me see if I need to give you video back. All right. We're experiencing technical difficulties again. And yeah. Okay. I'm gonna end my call with Rez and try getting back to him myself. and see if maybe we can get our voices connected again. Yeah, all right.
Okay, there you are. There you are. Yep, yep.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good Twitch stream if we didn't have some technical difficulties going on. So, all right. So, what I was saying before was you're going to set this down, I think, vertically in 4. And the only reason I disagree with that is because you've got a double yellow coming through and you can clear those yellows at the bottom of your board. But
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
doesn't end up making a
I
big
want.
difference, I don't think.
I wonder too. See, look, and I don't think this is the right play, obviously, but I'm just talking about how my brain works
Yeah,
here.
please do. That's
Is
what we're
I
here
see,
for.
yeah, I see so much red that I would probably. It wouldn't surprise me if I sacrificed this by putting the blue straight down on column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That allows me to get the horizontal on that yellow over in column 7,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like I'm gonna get so much blue yellow that I can clear that out by the time I get to those reds underneath it. You know what I mean?
That is definitely a very cynical play.
Yeah, yeah, but that's yeah, that's where my brain tends to go a lot of the time. So
All right, let's see.
we'll see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there goes the double yellow, and yeah, you're
Whoops.
starting to build up on the right hand side, and I can see your play thoughts now because I thought you were gonna put that down on 5 right there. So see what I know.
yeah. Welcome to the jungle, man. You're trying to figure out the way I'm approaching stuff.
It's Dr. Mario, man. It's
Yeah,
I may talk about standard play, but it doesn't mean that we've mastered anything yet.
yeah.
Okay.
And see now I'm probably shouting at the screen because yeah. Oh, the double yellow came. So there you go. You know, like I'd have to get the blue yellow to drop that yellow down finally.
Mm-hmm.
We got it, so that's good.
Yep. Okay, underclear.
Okay, under clear on the reds here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Get that drop down, and now you're just down to the yellow and the
That's
blue.
nice.
And I will tell
Now
you,
we play the game. Yep.
yeah, I'll tell you, a sub 5. We talk about the 4.5 minute, or the minute and a half pars, but a sub 5 is generally I feel okay if I'm at sub 5 going into 9.
I am definitely happy with that for me.
Unless I'm playing Adelito, in which case, if I'm not at sub 3.5,
Yeah, yeah.
that's Adelito for you. Miss you, buddy. He's in Turkey.
You know, I will say it's been interesting, like because he hasn't played the last few brackets, and there are a couple other ones. Like I don't think we've seen Influx for a while, and but it's just interesting how it opens up the bracket for everybody else.
Yeah.
You just see some other people claiming the one spot and it shifts everything around to create some really cool match possibilities. Just because he's that dang good.
Oh yeah. And of course, with Adelito, it's the Discord ban in Turkey that's been one of the big issues.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as we know, that's like he hasn't expressed it to anybody, but then again, the only way most of us have talked to him was on Discord or on Twitch. So wish him the best. Definitely miss him. Hate that something political appears to have affected our gameplay, but this is the way. This is the world we're in now.
Yep.
All right, I've been looking at this red blue, and I don't see anything other than what you're doing.
I was looking at JB's board instead. I'm like, I want to look at JB's board. Yeah, I think hopefully getting a T out of this somehow, like with a couple red blues, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple more red blues would be the best thing. It's just such a weird. That's such a weird formation of blues, and to have it blocked off by a red and a double blue coming in. I mean, I don't even know if you're going to go for the blue in column 1 next. It's I don't know. You just have to look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, because like you got 2 horizontals, so I'm like, I was thinking like save the double blue for the horizontal, but but then you also have a horizontal on the top. I don't know. Yeah, my brain probably short again. All one color, and then my brain goes funky. So
Yeah, I guess the horizontal. I was thinking, don't waste that blue pill half on top. But if you had gone with the horizontal in the horizontal
would have
pair
freed
in
up a
five
red.
six, it would have set up the red yellow, and then
Yeah, it would
with
have
the next
yeah,
red.
opened up a red. Yeah.
But who sees that? Yeah, well, you can't actually because it's three pills down from where the red blue was. And yeah, that's next box looking that some of our folks will do.
Mhm.
I don't tend to be one of them.
It's good for them, man. It's good for them.
Right. It's what keeps us down where we are in the game in the game list. All right, and now, yep, you've got one tuck play, and then you're just stuck with another red yellow. It sucks. But there's that. Okay.
Yeah, just
Interesting.
go for it.
Yeah, that was definitely a screw. I'm just going for it sort of play out. I don't disagree with it. It's just
Yeah,
not what I was expecting to see.
I know. I think just to crack that open and get access to what's underneath it, I just like take the garbage.
Yeah, and of course you get the yellows, and then immediately you you get a double yellow that gets rid of all your yellows.
Uh-huh.
Oh, she is a
And now we're in Red Town here.
cruel game. Yeah, I think that was the right play. Just find the best use for the blue because you're not going to find a good use for the yellows.
Yep.
And then it's just even more. Oh wow, committed to that tuck
Okay.
play for somebody who doesn't like tuck
Yeah.
plays.
Yeah. Could have got a horizontal on those blues, but that's all right.
Yeah, I think it's all right. Okay, good. Opening up the blue in 8
Yep.
is the
Hmm.
right priority. Had a little bit of glitch in
Hmm.
your video. It's going to come back. This is the hardest part of commentary is when this happens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like we
Yeah.
lose everything. It's one thing if you lose one player, you're just like okay, but
Yeah, you
when
got somebody else to watch, but
you lose both players, you're just like I guess we'll talk about the game that's not happening.
yeah,
Oh, and we get
this
you
is where
back.
you talk about the philosophy of Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. I was about to say it looks like we're gonna get you back right at the same time. Oh man, tough end game.
Red, yellow, red, yellow. Mm-mm.
Sub 7.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, in 2020 when we started, a sub 7 was the play to make. If you could get a sub
Yeah,
7,
and that
you
was
were moving
close
on.
too, right there.
Yep. All right. So JB giving you the claps, not the clap, just the claps. And sorry.
Nice. Oh, okay. I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You need some different pills for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you would. All right. So we are going into the finals, and for you, it's your second finals. For Sarge, it is his 6th.
Oh man, yeah, I knew there were a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I only know that because we had it pulled up. I do all of our commentator notes. It started a year or so ago when I was the one I was making notes for myself, and I was like, well, I should probably just provide them for everybody. And yeah, it's been a tough road for Sarge, especially like the wildfires were going on a couple of years like last year, and he was having to help fight those, and he was still
Oh, no
playing.
kidding, I didn't know
Oh
that.
yeah, he's
Wow.
he's up in the Northwest Territories,
Oh, okay.
just north of Alberta, when they were having those massive fires in Alberta. So they were
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
encroaching
yeah.
on his part of the world, and I think he almost lost his house at one point. Like they were that concerned with where the fires were
Wow.
going. So the guy has been through a lot, and all he wants is just to win one of these things. And you had to take that away from him.
That's what I do. That's what I
Yeah,
no,
but such a good guy and a tough player, but man, oh man, you go, okay, just got one more to play.
Yeah, man, Sarge is one of my favorites. I think this was the first time I actually tangled with him. I don't think we met in the other silver. Um, yeah, great attitude. He's always fun on commentary. It was cool to get the chance to actually play him.
Yeah, and he holds himself to such a high standard of play. He really wants to just keep improving, and I I think we're gonna have a party in the booth when he does win his first gold because it's happening. But I think yeah
I
he
do
is.
remember, and
Go ahead.
oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I think he is now a 6-time runner up. It's tough.
Wow. Yeah, I was gonna say I do remember hearing a lot of commentary and chat rooting for Sarge.
Yeah.
So I feel like I was definitely given the heel treatment a little bit here, as we say in the wrestling biz. Uh,
Yeah. It's
I mean, not really, you know what I mean, but like
no it.
hearing you guys, I was almost rooting for Sarge during this match, just yeah, for all the positive energy you guys were putting forward. It was cool.
Yeah, it comes and goes. For the longest time, Packy was the heel because of the quality of play he was putting out there, and now I mean, it's been a while since he's won a tournament, and it's been a
Yeah.
tough road back for him. And so a lot of the people who were cheering against him in the early years are now like, "Let's go, Packy!" It's so
I
interesting.
completely agree. I completely agree. There's a redemption arc happening.
Hmm.
Uh, and it's a yeah, it's a we're doing some long-term storytelling here, but
Yeah,
because man, like RNG just there are certain times I remember like there was like 15, 16 pills one time that he got where he just couldn't land a blue, and
hmm,
that cost him the match. And it's just yeah, but I mean he's still like
he's still the goat.
one of the best. It's gonna come back. Yeah, it's gonna come back.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to
you,
be
you, you,
as good at all levels of this game as he is.
yeah, right. Yeah, I learned a lot. I think he was the first person after Leviticus I started watching and really getting ideas for like horizontal play and combos and thinking ahead. I think between him and Swang, those were the two I
Yeah.
was really kind of following. And I swear, man, like just watching those guys play, it's just like, what's the term for like really soothing mental things that you watch? Watch is that like ASMR or
Yeah,
whatever?
brain candy or
It's yeah,
something. Yeah.
it's yeah, like watching a lava lamp, you know, it's just so soothing just to see all those viruses get taken down. So, yeah.
Yeah. There's so many storylines, and this is why I do this. This is why I put time into the commentary notes. This is why in Cincinnati I intend to be kind of the roving reporter, the sideline reporter for some of what we're doing, is because I want people to know what these stories are. If you're not in the Discord, if you're not spending a lot of time there, then you don't see some of these stories. You don't hear,
Yeah, yeah.
about, and you don't maybe see the long term of, yeah, Packy's on a 3-year redemption arc here, that he's gonna win one pretty soon, and it's gonna be, he may end up in tears, and some of the rest
Yeah,
of us may
yeah.
end up in tears. And when Sarge takes his first one, he will cry. I know Sarge that well. The guy will cry over it, and he probably won't be the only one. And it's those big picture stories, and I'm glad we're getting to tell yours here. So that
Yeah.
when you knock the game, when you knock your first gold match out of the park, we're all gonna go, all right, this is it. This is the thing he's been looking for. Now it's on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and it's
Yeah, yeah.
it's good stuff. It's really
Well,
good stuff.
and and I appreciate that effort that you are putting into it because it's not like I said, it's like we're watching sports, like we're not seeing people on a field play. You don't really get a lot of emotion a lot of the time
Hmm.
watching people in a little box like with pills. And I would think most of us are pretty focused on what we're doing, so we might get angry, but you don't see a lot of the emotion come through for a lot of people. So it's good to have these stories told uh, through other means. I
Yeah.
think that's awesome. That's yeah, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many stories in this community that are happening. And right now, the story for you is what the heck you're going to do with a yellow blue. You
We
tucking
don't
it
need to
into
tell that story.
tucking it into 3/4?
That's my guess. Yeah, and then hoping for a double red to come miraculously after that for a
Oh, that would be
horizontal.
nice.
But
Yeah, I was thinking a double yellow,
that'd be.
but
Oh
yeah,
yeah, that too. That too.
double a pair of double reds would be just wonderful. Except that they always bring friends.
Bliss.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was one of the early titles for this that I was considering was the double red blitz, but that's what turned into
Yeah.
the pre-cap last year. All right, let's see what you do.
Mm.
Oh, let's not hit the alt key. Let's hit the space key. Nope, let's just hit start. Let's see what you do. Oh, the double yellow did come.
Ah.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's. I guess that's. Yeah, I didn't see that. I was like, what the hell did I just do? But then I saw the double yellow pop up afterwards with the lag. So I'm like, okay, well there you go.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're at least going to get the triple out of this. I think the tuck into 3/4 followed by a tuck into 4/5 would have worked pretty well for you, but it is
Yeah.
what it is.
No, I think that would have been. Yeah, I don't disagree with you.
And we've got you frozen, so there it goes. Yellow, red.
Whew.
Okay. Internal tuck. Yeah. Vertical
And now I just hate the fact that I couldn't horizontal those reds. Nothing is worse when you have a horizontal staring you in the face and then you just have to start bearing or excavating below it and it's just left there like a bridge. Two
Yeah.
ends of a bridge.
Yeah. It's tough. I don't know. I'm starting to think there are things that are worse because they're starting to happen to you. All these yellow blues and you're getting reds.
I think that this continues if I recall correctly because I remember there being a blue situation in one of these matches.
Yeah. This looks like a blue situation
Yep.
happening. And I mean, you're fighting through it as well as you can. It's just
Yeah,
tough.
like I'm looking and I don't know what else. Yeah.
I mean, this yellow red, it's just garbage. It's just garbage.
Yeah, this is coming back to me now. I remember I remember this.
Well, at least you've got the
Yeah, and
horizontal
even then
coming
I'm like
through.
I'm like yeah, and like look, there's the double blue if I could just fit it in. I mean, if I could miraculously get through double yellows to get it down there for a T, but
Yeah. But there was the blue red, and you know the pill sequences by now, yeah.
yeah. Yes, yes. Actually, I know the double red. I know the double red, but I don't think I know the other double rushes.
After a double yellow, it's double. After double yellow rush, it's double blue. After a double blue rush, it's a blue red.
Okay, okay.
And
How do I not know that? Somehow you think I would.
because it doesn't come up that often.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, lay it down. There we go. Okay,
All
good.
right. Double blue right there is very nice.
Yeah. Um, there is a trick to that, and because it's not just double pills that blitz, it's also off-color pills. They're just harder to see because you don't always notice, and sometimes you'll get red yellows followed by yellow reds, which doesn't constitute a rush. It's the next pill alphabetically.
Oh, okay.
If
All
you
right.
get 3 red yellows in a
Ah,
row, the next one's going to be a yellow blue because that's the next
okay.
pill alphabetically. It's the
Yeah,
weirdest thing,
alphabetically.
but yeah, Flindo knows
Oh,
that better than I do, but I'm pretty sure that's the correct thing. He uses the concept of the circle of fifths, I think, to make a circle of pills. Because he's a musician, and that's yeah.
okay. No. What does he play?
Opera.
Oh, wow.
He's
Okay.
he's a professional level opera singer. I think
Are you
professional.
serious?
I know he does music for a living. I know he does opera. I
Wow.
don't know that he gets paid for the opera, but I'm pretty sure he does. Yeah.
No kidding. Now I do not mean this as an insult whatsoever, but like listening to his voice, I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard
well,
him
good for
sing.
him.
I've heard him
That's yeah.
sing. It's more understandable.
Yeah, I bet. No kidding. I was bummed out at that Hartford regional that I was not able to get some rock band karaoke going, but we had other priorities we had to tend to. So
Yeah.
one of these times if I get out there we'll do some karaoke. Nobody in Stanford likes to do karaoke, and I'm suffocating. So when I get out there, we'll yeah.
That's great. Oh, I had a thought, and it has been driven. Oh yeah, Flendo is the only player that we've ever seen use a piano to play Dr. Mario.
Wow.
He connected a MIDI keyboard to his computer and set up individual keys for the button presses and played a round of Dr. Mario using a piano keyboard. He is the current world record holder
Wow.
in that because nobody else has ever tried it.
Yeah, I can't imagine it. So you could say he found the keys to success there.
Yes, I would say that
Ha.
would be a fair assessment.
Okay.
You can pull a
Okay.
pun, just not when you get asked for it. I read your description. I read your bio.
You did your research. Yeah.
Yes, yes, I did. Okay. I don't know why I've paused this at this point, other than it's the first pill because it's a red blue, and I mean that's 3-4. It's got to be 3-4. If you don't put it
Yeah.
in 3-4, I don't know how you win. Here we go. Yellow, blue, and 7-8.
Please put it in a 3-4 Resnick. Okay, good.
Yeah, you did. And this is another one of those boards like I was talking about earlier where you have access to all of the non-doubled colors. And it's so critical. Of course you don't now, but I mean, this is boring to commentate because everything is just perfect for you.
Yeah, yeah. I remember breathing a sigh of relief here, especially after like the blue,
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
blue at the end of last one.
Yeah, this is just a really good pill sequence. And you have zero garbage. This yellow pill half. Oh, he didn't quite make the tuck. That one yellow pill half was the
Told you
only.
those tucks, man.
That's the first piece of forced garbage you've had.
Yeah, yeah. Which is crazy when you look at all that red that's still left on the board. Like
Mm-hmm.
you think I would have had to have dropped something, but
Yeah. Okay. There you get.
yep. Okay. Yep. Yep.
You
Yeah.
get that.
Horizontal. Yep.
And there's okay. I was a little concerned about. Ooh, going cheeky. I like it. I was a little concerned about that red that was way up high, but you handled it perfectly, and now it's just a matter of reducing your drop time as much as you can.
Yep.
Man, that's a 9. That's a good 9.
Yeah, man, that feels good. I'm gonna pay for that later, probably.
Ooh, I see a play I like. I don't love it, but I like it. It's
I'm
vertically and
thinking. I mean,
go ahead.
column 2.
Yeah, vertically into.
Yep.
It's just it requires.
Gotta rely on a double red to come, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. It does require that, but oh, the options are there. Is there? No, that would be a blue, yellow. Okay, okay. Have other thoughts,
Mm.
but okay, yeah,
It's gotta be 2, right? Oh no, I don't. Oh wow. Okay.
yeah. I mean, I understand being a little more conservative with your play, especially after that. I'm gonna disconnect and reconnect your video feed here. Especially after that 9 went as well as it did, I can understand seeing plays that would make you go, I don't want to be this. I don't want to. I don't have to take risks.
Yeah, yeah. And can you back it up to before that red blue that was
Absolutely,
dropped?
absolutely.
Let's take a look. I had a thought, but it's already left me. So let me see if I can jigger it back.
Okay, so there's the red blue.
Yeah, because I guess my thought would be like, if I don't get the double red, I've got to build a drop off of the blue,
Hmm.
and I just didn't want to waste so many blue just to do that. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think is my thought there.
And again, I mean, the blue red vertically into is a very aggressive play. And
Right,
if
right.
it doesn't pan out, yeah, it's a high risk, high reward play. Although putting the yellow blue on top of that, so that you drop the yellow
Mm,
down, and that's more cheekiness, but it's yeah, it's a high risk, high reward.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, so let's see how you continue this. You're looking for
Yeah,
the
I'm excited. I
horizontal.
have no idea what I'm.
Well, you're looking for the horizontal, and you're gonna get it. Nice. And enough red's coming through that it's not really a concern. So the double red did come through, but it was
Yeah,
several
yeah.
pills later than you would have wanted.
Right, right. Speaking of red blue, let's just
Yeah, I
get
mean,
that.
what else are you going to do?
Right.
All right, all right. Yeah, and unlike the last level where everything was just coming up roses, this one's definitely more strategic. It's requiring more thought,
Yep, yep.
and it's a tougher level, but I like your use of strategic garbage and just kind of willing
Yeah,
yourself
yeah.
down the board.
Yeah, whenever you have that vertical, is that so? If it's not a fat log, if it's a vertical, is that what we're saying? Is
Yeah, no, it's
well,
they,
okay,
they call it a
short
short
stack.
stack, but technically a short stack in its original usage. I'm going to pause you. Well, I'm going to go back to right
Yeah,
before
we're
that.
getting ahead.
In its original usage meant that you just drop them three, one, two, three, and it,
Oh, bada bing. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
The reason I wanted to stop here
Well,
is
I guess the two yellows on the right. I hate that because it's
no, I was
it's
just going
fine.
to praise your play.
It's still relying on the double. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Oh no,
No,
please go ahead.
no, I was going to praise your play. I was going to say, you made the adjustment because your focus was on either two or three for this double yellow. I think until you saw the double red coming up in the next box, and then it
Mm-hmm.
suddenly you go, oh wait, I've got a clear here, and you go ahead and take the 1 in 6, and then get the double, and it just came out exactly the way you needed it to.
Yeah.
So wanted to say good vision on that,
Well, thank you.
of course.
Crucial too because that gets me the one blue. That's
Mm-hmm.
still him, which is good because here comes the double blue, of course.
Of course. Now you don't have that. Under? Yeah. All right.
Hmm, hmm.
And now you're committing to the horizontal on the yellows.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Which is a little funky because I got to get the red out first.
no,
Oh
you
no, we
don't.
don't.
No, you don't.
Yep. See my cynicism. There you go. I'm
Yeah.
well, that's not going to work. I have to work for that. And then it comes.
But again, you see, we're talking about standard Dr. Mario play, and you heard me say immediately, you're telegraphing that this is the play you're committing to.
Yep,
And
yep.
there we go. Ooh, two double yellows. Oh, see, that changes it.
Mm.
One double yellow, you've got options. Two double yellows, ooh. Hmm.
That yellow virus on the right's just such an eyesore.
It
I feel like
is.
that's
Okay, see, I talked to Dave Smith after he won Louisville, and he said something that has infected my speed play. I don't know that it should. He said I always try to lay horizontals or doubles horizontally, but what he meant was
Mhm.
because it gets you better chances for combos. And I'm looking at
Yeah.
this and I'm seeing those yellows over in column 2 and 3. And I'm like, do you lay those out there and hope that a double blue actually if you get three of them that makes sense because a double blue follows double yellows.
Oh yeah. Oh, see, there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
actually perfect. but only if you know you're
It's
getting a blitz. Oh, it's the
correct.
the
Correct.
first one. The first one is a commitment. You have to, because at this point it's just 2 double yellows. As soon as it's a third one, then it's a blitz. Oh,
My guess is like I shoot over and try and clean up 7 and 8 just because having
Yeah.
those 2 yellows in those right columns is probably going to annoy me.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
it's,
if you do clear those yellows on the left, then you're left with a whole bunch of red blue
mhm.
without access to yellows, and then your only yellows left are the 2 butted up in 7/8. So
Right. Well, let's see what the play is. There's that, and it wasn't a blitz, so you made the right call.
I didn't even go for the. Oh, interesting.
No, I'm down for all of this play so far. I think I would have gone for that 5-6 play earlier than you did, but only by a couple of pills, and you ended up
Yeah,
getting what you needed. It's at that point, I think it's just a matter of preference. I'm merely commenting on my preferences.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Good. Opening up the reds in
Yeah.
the middle seemed important.
I was very scared to get rid of the red on the right because then it was just all blue.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really wanted to hold out for that red blue.
Oh, you've got triple yellows down at the bottom of the board. There's no way you get to them, but they're there. They're there.
Yeah.
There you go.
We're gonna get to them. We're gonna get to them.
Not as a triple. I'm just saying, like the odds of you getting to
I
them
know,
as a
I know,
triple
I
are
know,
so.
I know.
Oh wait, never
Oh,
mind.
for sure.
There they
Oh,
go. Nice. Prove me wrong, why don't you?
I
I
remember
think
being happy about that one. I forgot about it, but I remember, felt good.
yeah, it always feels good to get them right. Oh,
I think I was getting a little confused here. I was getting a little because obviously I want to do the reds horizontal,
mm-hmm.
but then I think I was getting my drops mixed up. Of like, I also wanted the yellows to drop down after a horizontal blue. Yep, and I
That-
just I imploded it. So
That was clever.
I think it was mishandled though, because I think what I wanted to do is get those yellows dropped and then the blues dropped and then I triggered the yellows too.
Yes,
So
initially
not
it was
quite what I was going for, but
mishandled, but it came out really well and it worked. And sometimes getting that B choice is just as important.
mm-hmm.
If your second choice looks just as good as it looks like it was your first, then you're probably doing it right.
Yep, exactly.
So
Oh, there's our screen again.
again, really?
I don't know if you caught the screen popping back up, the glitch screen popping back up.
Oh. Let me reset your screen. I mean, you're done, so.
Okay. All right, I'm back.
All right. Yeah, we'll pass on Sarge finishing up here
Mm-hmm.
and get you. Oh, did you? Oh, you lapped him, didn't you? No, you did not.
I don't know.
No, you didn't. He was on 11. Okay. It just didn't look like the same level for a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to this.
Yeah, he PB'd that, right? Didn't he?
I think he
they said
did.
got a
Yeah.
PB.
Yeah. It was a.
I see in chat they were talking it. So yeah.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, there's some really, really cheeky options here.
Yeah. I tend to go safe and easy
Mm-hmm.
with when there's cheeky options. My guess is going to be 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, it depends on what the second pill is going to be, obviously, but
No, I think
Man, you can look at
regardless,
horizontals
3-4 is
too.
the right choice.
And
Because
then once you get to those horizontals underneath, that's where it
Mhm.
gets fun.
yeah, you don't want to set up the horizontal right now because a double blue is another option. Whereas a yellow blue is really the only pill. Yellow blue and double yellow are the only pills you can focus on there in 3-4 to get access to that. So yeah, no, that's the right play, and 5-6 is just the worst play of the right ones. It's the worst one.
Yes, yes.
Ooh, more of them, and yeah.
Okay, there we
Oh
go.
wow.
Had it ready to go and had to bail. That's all right.
Well,
Still no more blues. I got all my blues in that first.
yeah,
Oh, there we go. Look at that.
yeah. You got to it eventually. It just,
Yep.
whew, it made you work for it. Oh, okay, okay. So I'm gonna say I don't care about that garbage on top of your yellow
Mm-hmm.
because you've got the paired blues underneath of it and then more yellows under that.
Right.
I mean, you're yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, red, double yellow away from finishing it. And with as many pills as you're going to see before the end of this 8, that's a possibility.
Right. Yep. Yeah, I think I was thinking in my mind, just let that be and shift and focus on
Mm-hmm.
some other stuff, and then it'll work itself out.
That's something I had to work on
Especially
because
with all those reds in the middle, because like the reds have to go to the middle somehow, you know,
mhm.
start working on that. So yeah.
I remember having to work on ignoring garbage because the part of my brain I got there's some little part in my brain that would not have liked it, but yeah, once you get to where you're like, it's okay, the garbage can just live there, it's not hurting anybody,
Yeah.
it's not like it's your
I
only
think it's
yellow. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's other things we can focus on before, and if it comes down to it, that could be the last thing you clear too. Like you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to build up to it, obviously, but like the drop time's not going to be too awful
Yeah.
if you can come back to it later and maybe build back up. So
Yeah, it's gonna cost you 2 seconds at most, so yeah.
right, right.
All right, I'm real curious where this blue red's going. I think Tuck 6-7 is my favorite play, but oh, looks like it's yours. No, okay, that's my second favorite
Yep,
play.
yep. There we go.
And
Tuck 6-7. You were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, so like on row 2, you're gonna
yeah,
tuck under there.
yeah,
Or...
yeah,
Okay, gotcha. Yep.
which is still an option. And then a red, yellow, red, blue gets that cleared out of the way, and you're set up for horizontals, and you're still it's still an option. Now, I'm real curious here if you're looking at the solo yellow in 4 just to avoid as much drop time as possible, or the one in column 8 and work your way down towards the bottom of your board.
I don't think I have the. I'm just so drawn to that center one with a one already on it,
Makes sense.
and I think like red yellows would probably go over to column 7 and 8 anyway.
Yeah,
That's my guess. I'm probably slamming straight down.
makes sense. There it goes. And then there go those blues.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's a horizontal brewing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you meant to tuck
Possible
it
T.
over. Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know.
Because I can see it either
I
way.
think I was. Yeah, I was so excited about the horizontal. I think I just went straight for it there. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
I went
So
for a T though. It could have been a T, which is the problem. That's one thing I'm noticing. But too late.
okay, here's one thing I like about what you just did and what it gives you the option to do. I like for you using columns 1, putting this red blue coming up into columns 1 and 2, committing to a horizontal on those yellows after you commit to a vertical in column 1. Because then you've got garbage.
Okay.
I mean, it's an option. Let me just say it that way. So
Yeah, no, for sure.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
With the garbage here, though, 6, 7, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 6, 7. Those are the right plays as well. And the 7, 8 is going to go great. There's a horizontal. Yeah. Everything's coming up perfect for you.
Yes, I'm thinking about that blue and how I'm gonna
Yeah.
figure that one out.
And the game keeps giving
But
you, oh, double yellow.
oh, there
Okay.
we go. Yep, yep,
Yep.
yep. Because yeah, thinking horizontal, but then with the yellow garbage, I stalled that for a bit, but got lucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a tough call to make. And then, though, the game just provided you with the right pills. All right, looking at a red blue coming down. I've been burned so much by column 1 and column 8, and your column 1 is so stacked. I feel like 1 2 is where my eye goes, especially with those yellows being able to hit horizontally by putting the blue yellow onto 4 5 coming up. But I wouldn't be mad at 2 3 either. I wouldn't be mad at 4 5. I think there's a better choice than that.
My first inclination would be 4 5, just because
Mm-hmm.
I'm also looking at the yellow horizontals, so I can see that coming up. I think I agree. 'Cause 1 and 2 would be nice to knock that blue red out and have another blue, because then you have a blue yellow option
Mm-hmm.
underneath it, and you only have one other one over there on the right. So blue yellows could become problematic.
Yeah. Let's see where you go. Yeah, you go 1 2. Very
I
nice.
did, okay. I was not expecting that. This is
And it looks like you are flipping the blue yellow over, which is the to me that's what I would call an obvious play. You know, it's the one that doesn't require any special thought of, oh hey, I can handle a horizontal and lay it out this way.
yes.
Which with them laid out in a square, the horizontals may not be the right choice anyway. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's they look so wonderful, when they're in a square, but then you always you wonder, like,
how do I
is the
take them?
horizontal going to pay off,
Right.
and I don't know. It's always easier, I think, to clear 2 verticals,
Yeah.
uh
Yeah.
especially with this setup, because you got the red horizontals right next to them, so
Mm-hmm. But it's always fancier to handle 2 horizontals. So
I know.
that's that's where I
Like,
get tortured.
yeah, like, as you level up, with Dr. Mario, and once you start to learn those horizontal strategies, it's then you have to learn not to do
Mm-hmm.
horizontals.
Mm-hmm.
You
We
gotta pass them up sometimes.
we've talked about that just off camera in the booth or off mic in the booth of, we'll see a player who we're just like, okay, they just learned how to do horizontals because that's all they're doing is horizontals.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We'll joke about Swung that way, but he does a lot of horizontals, but he doesn't do bad ones. It's I did the same thing when I learned horizontals. We all do. It's you're like, oh, this is it. It tees. Once you really pick up tees, you do it that way too. It's crazy.
hmm Well, the nice thing about horizontals, like the lesson after that, is that you start stacking stuff on top of it to drop below. So you don't have to worry about garbage, just because you're thinking the next moves ahead with a horizontal. So
Right.
yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, I figured I'll just get rid of the red and
Yep.
take the garbage.
Of course, now you don't have any blue, but that's okay. Yep. Do it. There it is. There's the T clear. Of course, now you've stranded.
Drop time forthcoming, but yeah, that's all right.
Well, not necessarily, because there are other options, or you can just leave it on top
Mm,
and wait.
yes.
It's tempting. It's so tempting to mess with it, but or that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Something.
The bracket clear is it's salvific. I will say that it'll save you from so much.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Bible college. Can you tell? I use words like salvific. Uh,
That might be the first time I've heard that one. So yeah.
yeah, no, it's I just only I remember like my Old Testament teacher describing the Red Sea as the central salvific event of the Old Testament, and that's the only time I ever heard it be used in anything. And yeah, that's why that word is in my
I've
brain.
seen I've seen red rushes be yes, yes. Look at the blues here.
Yeah, there's blues.
Look at those.
Goodness.
Oh, look at that glitch again. Yeah.
Oh,
And that is it for the blues. No more blues.
yep.
Wow.
All right, red, yellow on top of 10. There are options here. 6, 7, maybe. I mean 1, 2, but 6, 7.
Yeah, 1-2 with the drop time, and it just I
It
almost feel
doesn't.
like.
It doesn't.
Oh yeah,
It,
you just said it 6-7. Yeah. Because then you can also get, if you get yellow blues, it's productive right away.
yeah. Whew. Yeah. It's. I don't like that chasm in 1 at all, and the fact that it's red
Yeah.
on red. That's dangerous. That could be a real problem.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what you got. There's 1. There's
Yeah, that
2.
column that column 2's no good.
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you surprising yourself by how many tuck plays you make?
Yeah.
The way you talked, I was like, okay, we're not going to see any tuck
Yeah.
plays, but no, you definitely.
Okay, so I remember this. I remember that yellow situation right there. And, obviously the double red came, and if I clear the reds, that yellow drops, right?
Okay.
In column 4. So 3-4. Yeah, if you back it up maybe 5-10 seconds or so. Yeah. See. Oh, perfect. What a pause
Yeah.
right there. So I'm looking at it like, okay, yeah, double red, blue drops down, but then that yellow
Mm-hmm.
just drops, and then it blocks the horizontal blue on. So I think I just saw it, but I already forgot what I did.
You go
I think I
6,
just
5, 6
failed
here.
last second, and I think I got lucky with a horizontal clear after that.
Yeah, I mean the blue
Yeah,
reds
yeah.
show up, and you end up like making things work. It's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll just watch it again. So
Yeah.
the yellow blue, and that seemed like the wrong thing until the double blue
That's
shows
the one,
up,
yeah.
and
Oh,
now
yeah.
yeah, and now the garbage is 1 pill away from clearing, and there's that pill, and you're free and clear again. It's
Yeah.
it's a little bit fortuitous, I will say. Like, you don't count on
Yes,
crap like
yes.
that, but when it sometimes the reason somebody wins is because they did bet, the RNG helped, but they still were able to be the best player with the RNG they were given. So
Mm-hmm. Yep. And and there's plenty of times where I watch people play, and I'll watch, and they're doing I'm thinking of the same moves that they're doing.
mhm.
Like I'm predicting it while I watch, and then they end up getting a time that's 45 seconds, faster than what I would normally get. And then I have to remind myself, like you're reacting to stuff that they've already set up on this board,
Mhm.
you know, and that doesn't mean that you would have set it up the same way that they have. So yes, you may be predicting the moves as they are happening, but that doesn't mean that you would have set yourself up for success while you played yourself.
Yeah. I will say one of my guilty pleasures, not the right word. For the long time when I was climbing the ranks on SRC, I would watch the player just above me every time I got a PB, and then I would end up thinking to myself, they're playing like crap. How come I couldn't beat this?
Yeah, yep.
So, yeah, that's I nowadays the players. I think I'm right behind Dimwit now, so it's no longer that. It's okay. How did I manage to get right below this guy? Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
blue red.
And it's not
Good
like
for you.
not a fake it till you make it situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So
Yeah.
that seems 1-2 right there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the horizontal and oh, this board. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, it's not just that the RNG is good, it's that what you're putting down, the choices you're making are the best choices for the RNG that you're getting. Okay. There was a double yellow. Actually, I think you're about to get the double yellow and do what I'm predicting, so it may not matter. Right here, this double yellow that is at the top, I want to see a tuck under.
Oh gosh, yeah. I didn't even.
No,
I
I
thought you
think
were going to say stack it on column 8, so
no,
it drops after the blue. But you are totally right. Yeah.
I think you're going to see it here in a second anyway, because I think
Mm-hmm.
about 3 pills later, there's a double yellow. So, and there it goes. So, yeah, you got it. You just,
Okay.
again, you're getting it just slightly later than I would have, and it throws me off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good use of garbage. Gonna get the swim. Nice.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
And let's see. Yep.
Build up for. Oh, I'm hoping I can somehow land a horizontal on those reds.
I don't think you are.
Nope.
No. And there comes the
But
double
that's
red.
what I mean. It's like yeah, it's like look how many reds have come since I was before I could even scratch the surface of those blues. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I get impatient.
Yeah, but you pulled off a brilliant undertuck to get some double reds there. That came out brilliantly. Okay, you put the. Oh man, you got rid of some garbage just to put more garbage on top of it. That
Yeah.
sucks when that happens. All right, good priorities. Oh, ouch.
Oh yeah. Oh
Ouch.
yeah.
That
I
one
remember
hurts.
that.
But at least it's not
Yeah.
at least it's not buried against the edge of the board. So, you're going to
Yeah.
run some drop time. It's going to take a little bit more time, but in the end, it's not going to
Mhm.
matter. And there it comes the clear.
Yeah. I was good thing my camera was off for that one.
Yeah. Oh, man. But it was,
And
I don't think you're the
no,
player you
I
think
I
you
was
are.
good. Well, thank you. But and again, going back to the whole commentary thing, that was when JB called that out. He was like, "Oh my God, oh no!" And it was obviously the right thing to do for commentary.
Yeah.
But then it's like like the he's just pouring gasoline on the fire. So um, it's exciting, but yeah, that can throw you. It didn't throw me off, but it definitely can. So
Yeah. One of my truisms or one of my sayings has always been that misdrops breed.
yes,
You
I remember
never
you say that. Yeah.
just get one of them. So yeah, it's sometimes I think it might be because the commentators.
Well,
Uh,
it's like I'm trying to think of an analogy for how it feels, but it's like it's like you're driving a car and like you have to slam on your brakes and all of a sudden you're not recognizing your speed, so
mhm.
maybe I'll work on it. I'll come up with another
No, you're
analogy.
good.
But
You're good.
but yeah, like it just throws you off, you know what I mean? It throws your rhythm off. So
Yeah.
and a lot of us we already know what we're going to do with the next pill.
Mm-hmm.
So that first, when you misdrop the first one, the second one's you're probably your muscle memory is just sending it where you want it to go anyway. So
Yeah.
oh, look at this for
It's
stars,
so
man.
bad.
Ugh.
It's so bad for him. And then he ended up wasting that blue. I remember seeing that happen, going, "Oh
But
man."
yeah.
'Cause it hurts. It feels bad, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's just such a tough break. I mean, luckily it was already over. Oh, and those are what
Oh
drive me
no!
crazy. Oh, I hate when that
If you
happens.
wanted to do that, no, there's no way. But yeah.
Oh, Yeah, I'm.
God, he can't even, not even.
I've been I've been picking up
Oh,
picking up achievements over at retroachievements.org, I think it is. And one of them was to set up a 10 drop combo where basically you make 10 different
oh,
pill sequences. I had to draw it out in Granivore. I couldn't, and then follow my template. I couldn't just think of something like it. Took half the board. But yeah, if you're
yeah,
trying to build
yeah,
something like
yeah.
that, it takes forever. But then if you're trying to just finish a level, oh, it always happens that way.
And it is, like you can strategize for how to make it work, but then you're not accounting for where the garbage is going to go and clog all that up. So,
Right, right,
yeah, God dang, that's tough. Jeez.
right. Well, that was it. Those were your matches, and like I said, I don't
Yeah.
think you're the player you think you are. I don't think you're nearly as averse to tucks as you think. And yeah, the end games. You were saying you think you need to work on your end games. Your end games were glorious there. They, for the most part, they were really really good. So I don't know what part
Thank
of
you.
your
Yeah.
game you need to focus on, but it ain't that.
Yeah, thank you. It's like going back and actually talking it out with somebody else. That's like what a help that has been, and just very very enlightening. It was a very cool to do this. So I appreciate you asking.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you doing it, and I always learn something when I'm doing these. I tell people I'm selfishly just trying to do this to improve my own game. It's helping other
Hmm.
people, and that's just secondary. Right now, I'm just trying to get better myself. But
Yeah, yeah, and it's so funny too, just because I learned so much just by starting watching the community, and it's
hmm
like I said, like I'm watching players do new things now, and it's like you figure with a game like this, there's only so many moves you can make,
no,
you know, and so there's only so many situations you're gonna run into, but like the problem solving and the forward thinking, it's a blast. It's like I remember my friend came up to that Hartford regional, and he's never played Dr. Mario before,
hmm
but he was having a blast just watching it and kind of learning the basic strategies.
right,
So it's cool, man. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
yep. There's always something new to learn, so it's always
Mm-hmm.
great
Mm-hmm.
fun.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Well, with
Yeah.
that, I think we're going to have to call it an end there. I want to say a big thank you to Resumatic, my guest. This has
Yeah.
been a great time, and I hope everybody watching has enjoyed it as much as we have. Remember, you can catch this live on the Twitch stream. Uh, Comments or the description is in the links in the description. That's what I'm trying to say. It's getting late. And if
Yeah.
you
No.
are catching
Yeah.
it on
Right.
Twitch, then you can catch it over at YouTube as well. And the Best of Chill Pill podcast is on Spotify. Till next time, as always, be
Okay.
good, be safe, be happy, and I hope everybody has a great night. We'll see you soon.